terrible stuff to us.
Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth. Listen to the home of the 5K Gruber Cash Giveaway. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station.
This is the Bloomberg Black Business Beat, brought to you by FidelityWealthManagement.com. The Magnificent Seven, led by NVIDIA, have been dominating conversations on Wall Street for a while now. But black-owned and led Ariel Investments is finding value flying under the radar with smaller companies. Here's Ariel Investments founder, chairman, and CEO, John Rogers.
We're still finding ideas in the small value space. They really have been ignored. They're kind of the ugly ducklings when you compare it to NVIDIA and Apple and all these giant, exciting growth stories. The little mundane businesses that we've invested in for 42 years just seem particularly orphaned these days. So we're seeing great ideas and excited to be doing the research and think there's real opportunity for small value.
Ariel Investments, John Rogers speaking to Bloomberg there. The firm's flagship Ariel Fund focuses entirely on small and mid-cap stocks. I'm Bloomberg's Justin Milliner on the Black Business Beat.
Working as a dedicated Fidelity advisor, I always ask, what's important to you? I'll look at those priorities and goals alongside your full financial picture to build a comprehensive plan designed to help grow and protect your wealth. With proactive portfolio insights and an eye on taxes, I'm here to help you make the most of your money. I'm Laura Maxwell, and I'm a dedicated Fidelity advisor. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC, member NYSE, SIPC.
If Ernest Hemingway was alive today, would he say this to you?
Shakespeare, Mark Twain, Edgar Allan Poe, all great writers. And after reading your book, I simply must add you to the list.
Wait, you don't have a book yet, so make a free call to Page Publishing. Turn your book idea into publishing gold.
800-215-6818. 800-215-6818. That's 800-215-6818.
He steps to the mic with a boom, ping, ping. Wisdom sharper than a beast's fierce sting. Words like fireflies that light the night. He turns the dark into blazing bright. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Shake the ground, unveils the truth where lies abound. Politics, justice, social streams. He molds the chaos into dreams. No silence here, just the sound of change. Boom, ping, ping, rearrange. Boom, ping, ping, the truth takes wing. Milwaukee's voice, let the city sing. Boom, ping, ping, hear the freedom ring. Sherwin's the king, all the airwaves king. Through the static, through the noise, he amplifies the people's voice. Boom, ping, ping. Like a heartbeat's call, he's got the wisdom to break down walls. Yeah.
Good morning. Welcome to the program. Today is Wednesday, November 12th, 2025. Epstein alleged in emails that Donald Trump knew of his conduct. In a message obtained by Congress, the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein wrote that Donald John Trump spent hours at his house with one of Epstein's victims. From the New York Times, House Democrats on Wednesday released emails in which Jeffrey Epstein wrote that President Trump had, quote, spent hours at my house with one of Mr. Epstein's victims, among other messages that suggested that the convicted sex offender believed Mr. Trump knew more about his abuse than he has acknowledged. Mr. Trump has emphatically denied any involvement or knowledge of Mr. Epstein's sex trafficking operation. He has said that he and Mr. Epstein, the disgraced financier who died by suicide in federal prison in 2019, were once friendly but had a falling out. But Democrats on the House Oversight Committee said the emails, which they selected from thousands of pages of documents received by their panel, raised new questions about the relationship between the two men. In one of the messages, Mr. Epstein flatly asserted that Mr. Trump, quote, knew about the girls, many of whom were later found by investigators to have been under age. In another, Mr. Epstein pondered how to address questions from the news media about the relationship as Mr. Trump was becoming a national political figure. The White House did not immediately respond to requests for comment. The messages are certain to inflame the debate on Capitol Hill over the Trump administration's handling of the Epstein files and top officials' decision to backtrack on a promise to fully release them. That issue, which has split Republicans and alienated some of Mr. Trump's right-wing supporters, had faded in the background as the government shutdown dragged on. But the House is set to return today to clear legislation to end the shutdown, and attention is likely to shift back to the Epstein matter. These latest emails and correspondence raise glaring questions about what else the White House is hiding in the nature of the relationship between Epstein and the president. Representative Robert Garcia of California, the top Democrat on the Oversight Committee, said in a statement, the 3 separate email exchanges released today were all after Mr. Epstein's 2008 plea in Florida on state charges of soliciting prostitution, in which federal prosecutors agreed not to pursue charges. They came years after Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein had a reported falling out in the early 2000s. One was addressed to Mr. Epstein's longtime confidant, Ghislaine Maxwell, while the two were with the author, Michael Wolff. In one email from April of 2011, Mr. Epstein told Ghislaine Maxwell, who was later convicted on charges related to facilitating his crimes, quote, I want you to realize that the dog that hasn't barked is Trump. He added that an unnamed victim, quote, spent hours at my house with him. He has never once been mentioned. Epstein goes on to say, I've been thinking about that. In an email from January 2019, Mr. Epstein wrote to Mr. Wolff of Donald Trump, quote, of course he knew about the girls, as he asked Ghislaine to stop. House Democrats citing an unnamed whistleblower said this week that Ms. Maxwell was preparing to formally ask Mr. Trump to commute her federal prison sentence. I'm just going to stop right there. This is a woman who was convicted of helping to catch, capture, groom, abuse teenage girls on behalf of Jeffrey Epstein. Ghislaine Maxwell was the other hand of his organization to solicit these young girls and bring them down to the island on Jeffrey Epstein's plane to service the needs of disgusting, old, perverted men. Donald Trump is, in fact, one of those men. Because of the things that this president has already done and is probably doing right now, the level of egregiousness just gets higher and higher and higher. You know, we have talked about the Jeffrey Epstein files, I guess on a surface level. I was waiting for like information like this, like something with real teeth, something that where Trump is quoted, where there's a real direct connection in documents and files in court records, where Trump admits, Epstein admits, where all of that information is presented, and it is. But I'm wondering, does it even matter? Does it even matter? Do people even care that the current president and former president of the United States is connected with, not just connected with Jeffrey Epstein, but spent time with an underage girl? Does it even matter? And that's a legitimate question, because I don't know if it does. Now, I also know that the 218th vote to fully release all of the Epstein files is getting sworn in today. Adalitza Grivalda of Arizona, she will be joining with a couple of Republicans to fully compel the Department of Justice to release all of it. Now, I think the Democrats, with them releasing what I just read, they're telling the president of the United States it is going to get dramatically worse. Now, I cannot predict the future, because American politics, it doesn't follow any coherent logic whatsoever. We are in a world that is dominated by the whims and the impulses of Donald Trump. So I can't predict that, and really nobody can. But I do have a sneaking suspicion there's going to be a vote on health care. I don't know. I just think that there's going to be some kind of leverage that the Democrats are going to use. And maybe you think that that's terrible, and maybe you think that that's unfair, that the Democrats might be, listen to me now, bribing the American president or blackmailing the American president to release the files that connect him with underage children, okay, in order to get a vote to maintain the subsidies for the Affordable Care Act. This is what American politics is. But the larger question is, because Donald Trump has such a loyal following still, and it's not just voters, it's members of Congress, it's people in the U.S. Senate, including Ron Johnson, our U.S. Senator here. And here's the thing, they know all this stuff. So when Speaker Mike Johnson gets up in front of that podium, gets on that dais and says that he is supporting Donald Trump and he's going to keep the House of Representatives out of session for almost 2 months because Donald Trump does not want the House to be in session, they know all of this stuff. They know way more details than we do, and they are still supporting him. And I'm wondering if some Americans who are still supporting Donald Trump are going to take a cue from these Republicans that know more than we do about Donald Trump's connection to having sexual encounters with children. They don't care, so I'm wondering if the American people, if they care either. They may not care. Are they just going to pass it off as, oh, well, Trump is going to Trump? And if that's the case, I guess I can just be upset about it, but I clearly can't change 75 million people's minds. But here's where it is concerning. The whole thing is concerning. It's disgusting. It's problematic. It's illegal. He should be in prison. But he's not. He's running the country and running it into the ground. You'd think that Trump would want to operate a little more carefully, considering the information that exists, it's going to be released. And it's probably going to be a lot worse than we think. But if the American people don't care because they just chalk it up to Trump just being a bad guy, but boy, oh boy, does he want to get those 20 million Mexicans out of the country. If his worst personal behavior and conduct is excused, then there will be someone else running for that office who will have just as bad or worse personal conduct that could also get elected to the office. Call me old-fashioned, but there was a period of time in fairly recent memory where the conduct and the actions and the behavior and the resume and the accomplishments of someone running for president mattered. In fact, those were the only things that mattered. Who is this person that's running for this office? What have they done? Who are they associated with? What are their business dealings? Do they have any scandals? Have they been faithful to their wife? He has violated every single one of those just like regular norms that we would want in a president of the United States. We have gotten to a point, it seems, that we don't want the best representation of America. We want somebody that's relatable to just the worst person in the country. So we don't want to put our best foot forward in the eyes of the world because the American president is supposed to be the absolute best that we could possibly find. They got to be squeaky clean. They have to have a great education. They have to have charisma. They have to have policy-making chops. They have to have empathy. They have to care about people. Supreme Court just maintained the order that Donald Trump has the ability to not only continue to pause SNAP benefits, but to start clawing back money from states. So if states paid full benefits like we did here in Wisconsin, Wisconsin may not get reimbursed that amount of money. Let me just take that little thing, that one thing for just 1 second to talk about empathy. The United States of America cannot have a leader that's not empathetic because we have a lot of issues and a lot of problems and got a lot of poor people and we have a lot of horrible things that should not be happening in a very wealthy country. So having a president that doesn't have any empathy is problematic. Let me put this in a very simple way. We select a father for the country. If it's a woman running for president, she would essentially be the mother of the nation. We are their dependents, and don't sit here and tell me that you are not dependent on the federal government. Do you drive a car? Do you go to the store? Do you buy anything? Do your kids go to school? Have you ever gone to school? If you answered yes to any of those questions, you're dependent on the federal government too. Glad we had that discussion. That chapter is now closed. Donald Trump was elected to be this nation's father twice. Now, some of y'all didn't vote for him. Just like the father that you all have, like your actual biological fathers, when you think about it, none of y'all chose that father either. That's just the one you got. Donald Trump effectively is the father of the nation, whether we chose him to be or not, he is. Now, think about this for a second. What would we say of a man who is the father of 340 million people that refuses to feed his kids? What would you say about that man? What would you call a man that has unlimited wealth, that has our money, that has the U.S. Treasury, that has donor money, that has money to build a $300 million, 90,000 square foot ballroom? Daddy is doing all of that stuff. Daddy has got all sorts of money. Daddy is having lavish parties. Daddy is living it up. Daddy is meeting with Saudi Arabian princes at the same time, not feeding his kids. What would you say about that man? What would you say about a father that had all the money in the world, but his children were suffering? His children were starving. He refused to feed his children because, he's just angry about something. What would you say about that father? Think of the names and the words you would call that father. A father that was selected, or the father that was bestowed upon us without our decision making, and they refused to feed their children. So whatever you would say about that father, you should be saying about this president. Oh, and by the way, that same father has spent hours with at least one underage girl. What would we say about that man? I know this much. We typically wouldn't elect somebody like that for president. I'm going to take a break, come back, give you a little bit more details of the connection of Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and he's about to commute the sentence of Ghislaine Maxwell. Very interesting that Trump may do that, considering he barely knew Jeffrey Epstein per Donald Trump, or, they had a falling out many years ago. Why is he going to commute the sentence of the woman that made the entire operation work? That just raises a bunch of questions. Also, I have received a new poll that shows if Mandela Barnes enters the race for Wisconsin governor, he likely would defeat all of the other Democratic challengers, and Mandela Barnes would likely advance to a general election in 2026. Representative Tom Tiffany, who is a member of Congress here from Wisconsin that is about as loyal and faithful of a Trump supporter as you could find, would beat Mandela Barnes in a potential matchup in the 2026 gubernatorial race in Wisconsin. Let's remember, Mandela Barnes lost to Ron Johnson in 2022. In this poll, Tom Tiffany has 43% and Mandela has 40%. If Mandela becomes a Democratic nominee for governor, we will have a Trump sycophant leading the state of Wisconsin. And I don't think that any of us need that. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be back shortly.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between The Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Dr. Tiffany Tardy from Pearls for Teen Girls, an organization empowering girls in 5th through 12th grade across the Milwaukee area to lead the lives they deserve. Again, that is the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday with Pearls for Teen Girls at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Tracy, going back to the process, and as it relates specifically to the partnership that Old National Bank has with Housing Resource, what does the process consist of when coming through this program?
It's a referral process. We work with clients that first-time homeowners that may not have the counseling that they need. They may not have the equity, the down payment that they need. So we refer them to our partners like HRI or Housing Resources, Inc., because we recognize that those organizations, they have the resources, they have the tutorial documentation and all of those things that are necessary for first-time homeowners that don't know the process, may not know the system, may not know what's required for home ownership. So working with Housing Resources, Inc. and other partnerships that we have like through WIDA has been very, very advantageous, not only for us, but also the organizations, but also for the community.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
In an email from January of 2019, Mr. Epstein wrote to Michael Wolff, and Michael Wolff he's a writer that Jeffrey Epstein was working with to write the biography for Jeffrey Epstein, which was never completed. In an email from January of 2019, Mr. Epstein wrote to Michael Wolff of Mr. Trump, quote, "Of course he knew about the girls as he asked Ghislaine to stop." House Democrats, citing an unnamed whistleblower, said this week that Ms. Maxwell was preparing to formally ask Mr. Trump to commute her federal prison sentence, so essentially letting her out of jail as the woman who is serving a 20-year sentence for being an accessory to pedophilia and sex trafficking of minor girls. Do you guys know that Donald Trump, on his order, because he controls the Bureau of Federal Prisons, a lot of stuff that Donald Trump controls, a lot of folks didn't know about until he exercises his undue authority. So she was convicted of a violent crime. Sex trafficking is considered an abusive, violent crime, and she was in a maximum security federal prison. She was serving 20 years. Did you guys know about this? I don't want to tell you stuff you already know. So she was in a maximum security federal facility. Trump got elected. She has now been moved to like a camp, like a prison camp with like tennis courts and TVs. There's no walls where she's at now. There's just fences. She is at a prison for like low-level white-collar criminals that are not violent. I need you to think about this for a second. A woman who was convicted and got 20 years in federal prison for violent crimes, including human sex trafficking of children, was, on Donald Trump's order, moved to basically a camp for nonviolent offenders. Now she is preparing her formal documentation to have Donald Trump commute her sentence. And I'm wondering if this even matters to the American people. And I say that because there was a period of time where, like on 4chan and Reddit, you had all these conspiracies about Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton being involved in a child pedophile sex ring. And then there was this scandal called Pizzagate. Some of you may remember this. It is where a man who was radicalized by the internet and thought that Bill and Hillary Clinton were legitimately running a child sex trafficking ring out of a pizza shop in Washington, D.C. If you don't believe me, you can go look it up. So he thought that this was actually taking place, that Bill and Hillary Clinton were involved in a child sex trafficking ring in a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. So this man goes into the pizza restaurant with a machine gun to break up the pedophile ring that he believes that Bill and Hillary Clinton were running. Turned out not to be true. Guy ends up going to prison, whatever. Well, here's what's crazy. So that wasn't true, but this with Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein is. So even the mere mention or the thought that Democratic candidates were involved in child sex trafficking or child sex abuse would cause somebody to bring an actual firearm, an assault weapon, to a pizza shop. But Donald Trump, there is actual documentation. His words, Jeffrey Epstein's words. Jeffrey Epstein talked about Trump being at his house and being alone in a room with an underage girl, and nobody even cares.
He seen the tape at him at Epstein parties, picking out girls.
And it's, imagine if that was Obama. And I hate having to use that, but it's like I'm living in the Twilight Zone, because if this was any other person, how does he get away with it? Because we got to figure it out. How does Donald Trump get away with what he is doing? And he is harming the American people. Listen, he's got his proclivities and he did a bunch of stuff. I didn't vote for the dude. That's really all I can do. What am I going to do? Go march and go protest? That don't do any good either. But if we can't figure out how someone can have the background that he had, like one of his daughters don't even talk to him. You know, most of y'all don't even know that there's a Tiffany Trump. She hates his guts. She don't even talk to him. You don't ever see her at family functions. She doesn't go to the White House, none of that stuff. She is embarrassed by her father's conduct. Not to mention the women that he paid, the prostitutes that he paid. Oh, that's old news. That stuff doesn't even really matter anymore. That just comes along with the territory. Is what he is delivering for the country worth it? Because we all wear his reputation. Because the rest of the world is like, okay, the United States is a really important, very powerful country. I mean, hell, more than half the world spends the dollar. Like, we're a really, really important country. And they look very closely at who we select to lead us, because they believe, like we used to, that who we select as president is the best that we have to offer, the best that we can find. Now, there's some political things involved, and you got to have charisma, and you got to be able to campaign, and you got to raise a bunch of money. But all that being said, the American president is the best that we can muster to lead us and to be our face in the eyes of the world. And Donald Trump is that face? How does he do it? And if we can't figure out how he does it, then somebody else will do it as well. We cannot lower the standard for the American presidency, yet here we are. The emails were provided to the Oversight Committee along with a larger tranche of documents from Mr. Epstein's estate that the panel requested as part of its investigation into Mr. Epstein and Miss Maxwell, who is serving a 20-year sentence on sex trafficking charges. The committee's staff redacted victims' names and any identifying information from the emails. Because the full set of documents has not yet been released, but it's going to be released soon, it was not clear whether the emails had been excerpted from larger conversations that might have provided fuller context. Mr. Trump has condemned continued questions about his handling of the case as a, quote, hoax perpetrated by Democrats. He has called Mr. Epstein a creep and has insisted he never engaged in any wrongdoing with him or with Ghislaine Maxwell. Both Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein split their time between New York and Palm Beach, Florida, and they were friends in the 1990s and early 2000s. Their relationship appeared to fizzle around 2004, though Mr. Trump and those close to him have offered different accounts of why. By one account, they fell out after trying to outbid each other for a piece of Palm Beach real estate. Last summer, Mr. Trump said that Mr. Epstein, quote, had hired away spa attendants at Mar-a-Lago, his private club and residence in Palm Beach. He said that he had kicked Mr. Epstein out of the club and that he believed one of the women was Virginia Giuffre, who has said Miss Maxwell recruited her into Mr. Epstein's sex ring while she was working at Mar-a-Lago as a teenager. So they recruited Virginia Giuffre, and then Trump wanted to hire her and did hire her at Mar-a-Lago, and then Epstein stole her back? At the time, Mr. Epstein emailed Ms. Maxwell in 2011, calling Mr. Trump, quote, the dog that didn't bark, means he's keeping the secrets. Mr. Trump was a reality television star and New York tabloid celebrity who was years away from becoming president. Around the same time, according to documents previously released by the Oversight Committee, Mr. Epstein was emailing staff members about negative press coverage he had recently received about the abuse that took place inside his home in Florida. Earlier this year, the Trump administration released a transcript of a courthouse interview with Ms. Maxwell, who acknowledged that Mr. Trump and Mr. Epstein had once had a social relationship, but denied any connection between Mr. Trump and the sex trafficking ring. Mr. Epstein's email from 2019, which claims Mr. Trump, quote, knew about the girls and asked Ms. Maxwell to stop, was sent to Mr. Wolf, who had recently written a book, a tell-all book about the president. Mr. Epstein was months away from the arrest and federal charges that would send him to prison, but he was the focus of significant attention after the Miami Herald had published a series of articles drawing renewed attention to the secret agreement that he had signed in 2008. In his email, Mr. Epstein mentioned a victim of his sex trafficking operation. He also mentioned Mar-a-Lago, then disputed that Mr. Trump had ever asked him to resign from the club. Never remember, Epstein wrote. Mr. Wolf was also involved in a third email exchange, which began on December 15, 2015, the night of the debate in the Republican presidential primary. Mr. Wolf emailed Mr. Epstein that night and warned him that CNN was planning to ask Trump about his relationship with you, Mr. Epstein, either on the air or in an interview afterwards. Mr. Epstein wrote back, if we were able to craft an answer for him, what do you think it should be? Mr. Wolf advised inaction, suggesting that Mr. Trump might try to deny close association with Mr. Epstein. I think you should let him hang himself, he wrote of Mr. Trump. If he says he hasn't been on the plane or at your house, then that gives you valuable PR and political currency that could be used to, quote, hang him or save him, generating a debt. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Our children deserve a real chance to make it in life, and a good education is a passport to opportunity. At City Ford Collective, we're working to make sure there's a great Milwaukee school for every Milwaukee family, because more good options lead to better outcomes. And who doesn't want that? Together, we can give every child the foundation they need to thrive, and a stronger future for kids means a stronger future for Milwaukee. To learn more about our mission, visit us at cityfordcollective.org. That's cityfordcollective.org.
Hi, I'm Brittany Miller from Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more. Custom T-shirts, sweatshirts, jackets, hats, you name it, we can do it. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more is family owned and all about celebrating life's big moments. Maybe it's a milestone birthday, a celebration for your child's first goal, or that work fundraising event. We are everyone's printer. No minimum orders, affordable designs, and help straight from me and our team. We're the one-stop shop for all your custom needs. Start your project today at bigfrog.com/Mequon.
Coming with straight truth.
Corey, I love you, I love you, I love you. I love you when I first started hearing your voice. And what you're doing, in the words of T-Pain and Gorilla, I love it.
Thank you, brother. Bless.
Hey, I'm down with you, man. I missed your last gathering, but the next one I'm going to be there, and I'm going to make sure I introduce myself because, hey, you're God in all circumstances.
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. Never miss a moment of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on the new 101.7 The Truth.
Violence is a tool. Violence is a tool of oppression. It's a tool of subjugation. It's a tool of manifest destiny. Let's not say all of a sudden, oh, hip-hop music is why people are... No. Y'all know how America was discovered? Murder, slavery, human trafficking. The origins of violence predates hip-hop. Can we at least agree on that?
Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Tap into the best power hour in radio in Milwaukee.
Drop my pants. I had to make sure I wasn't seen, you know. I don't want nobody to get surprised.
This is a sick Negro.
I'm just a real one. I peed again, came on back. I said, what y'all been doing? We've been out here for 3 hours. Y'all ain't peed yet? Just sitting here, we playing beer pong, and y'all sitting here peeing next to me? I'm still itchy today. Think there's something wrong. Am I the only one that's astonished by this?
Catch Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace every weekday from noon to 1 p.m. on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Your expression on your face, that's got to me. And the man wasn't lying.
What you mean the expression on my face? How can you see my face? You listening to me on the radio, man.
No, I'm watching you on YouTube, too.
Oh, all right, then. You're an old man, and you know about YouTube. How old are you, Adam? You about 85.
83.
I'll be dipped. How blessed are we to have you?
Watch all your favorite 101.7 The Truth shows by subscribing to 101.7 The Truth on YouTube. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 101.7thetruth.com.
I'm going to say something that is going to be very unpopular. But please keep in mind where we are right now in American history. This is not a very comfortable place to be. At some point in time in the future, when all of this smoke clears and America is revealed for what it actually is, what it's going through right now, hopefully what I say will be less offensive to the future, because they're going to need a whole bunch of details about how in the hell we got to the point where the 45th president became the 47th president, who was impeached, who's got 34 felonies, who is absolutely connected to and was friends with Jeffrey Epstein, a convicted sex offender, and is going to commute the sentence of Ghislaine Maxwell, the woman who was the ringleader of the whole thing. And the same president cheated on a bunch of his wives and even used illegal money to pay off one of the porn stars, which didn't even work because they paid her to keep her quiet. And then she goes public, and the dude got elected again after that. Can't tell you how many times he was impeached, how many times he will be impeached. The country is starving. He withheld SNAP benefits and gave $40 billion to a South American country in the middle of a damn government shutdown. They're going to want answers from us. They're going to want to know. They're going to want to know, what was America going through at that time? So I'm going to say something that is in context of where we are. And it's going to sound ugly. It's going to sound unfortunate. It's going to sound below board, but I know where we are politically, and I just have to say this thing because it's indicative of where we are. Now, we still got to lead the country. The country still needs to be governed. The federal government still needs to do its job. Representative-elect Adelita Grivalda swearing in on Wednesday is expected to trigger a long-awaited procedural effort in the House of Representatives. This is a discharge petition to force a vote on releasing the Jeffrey Epstein case files. So that's just a real complicated way of saying the woman that Mike Johnson did not want to swear in is the 218th vote to make the Department of Justice release everything that it has on Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Congress actually has the power to do that. When the full documents are released, and they will be, I don't know what the time frame is, but Congress, once they have this vote on the discharge petition, members of Congress could go seize the documents because they have the authority to do that too, okay? Might be 24 hours or 48 hours. What's going to happen is amongst the Democrats and led by Hakeem Jeffries, they're going to, okay, you take 30 pages of documents. Okay, you in your office, Representative Gwenmore, you take 40 pages and you and your staff read these, and they're going to spread out all of the thousands of pages of documents, and all the Democrats are going to read what is assigned to them, and they're going to circle and highlight some of the worst stuff, and then the ultimate compilation of some of the most disgusting, illegal, egregious, pedophilic things you could ever imagine are going to be neatly packaged in a document. And here's what I think the House Democrats are going to do. And I'm agreeing with it, even though I don't want to have to agree with it, but I am just acknowledging where we are politically right now. And so they're going to have all of the Jeffrey Epstein files sent out and divvied up in 20, 30, 40-page tranches for Democrats to read and to circle and to highlight the worst things, and they're going to compile the worst of all of the thousands of pages, and they're going to send it to the president. They're going to send it to the White House. They're going to say, Mr. President, we're going to need some affordable Health Care Act tax subsidies. Now, you can help us. You can work with us. You can tell Mike Johnson, you can tell Senator Thune that we want to vote and we want that vote to pass, or we're going to release it. The president's going to have a choice to make. Now, you would think, we'll just release the stuff anyway. No. You got to use it as leverage. And I'm all for it. And as horrible as that is, because if they release the files and don't get anything out of it, Donald Trump ultimately will recover his reputation. But he needs to be scared into thinking that he cannot recover. And they'll make him a deal. They'll say, Mr. Trump, we won't release this, or we won't release the worst of the worst if you give us a vote on a couple of things. I think they're going to use the worst of the worst information in the Epstein files to blackmail the president, because this is where we are in American politics. Because I think at the end of the day, if the worst of the worst gets released, because there's some real bad stuff in there, really, really bad. And then once you hear the ages of the girls, it's going to make it even worse. But I think that if that information was released, all of it was released, the American people would be upset for 2 weeks. Then there'd be another scandal that would take our attention elsewhere. But they need to hold the threat over the president. Otherwise, Donald Trump is impossible to move. There has to be something that scares him. And I think there's something in the Epstein files that does scare him, because quite honestly, the man is damn near invincible. But for some reason, these Epstein files have been the bane of his existence. And now with this Democratic representative being sworn in from Arizona, now Congress will have the ability to obtain all of the files. The Democrats need to make progress with those files, even if you got to blackmail the president. And I would say, no, that's terrible. Don't blackmail the president. That's wrong and that's illegal. Look who we're dealing with. Now, I hate that the Democrats have to resort to such things, but when you are dealing with a criminal enterprise that is the Trump administration, you got to play the mafia games too now. Now, I do not condone this behavior because it is immoral, it is illegal, it is below board, but so is the president. With all that being said, the Democrats can very well take the moral high ground and then get nothing for their people. And children will starve, schools will be underfunded, infrastructure projects under Joe Biden will never get completed, billionaires will get more tax breaks, tariffs will continue to screw over the American economy. We can take the moral high ground and just, let Donald Trump do what he's going to do, or they can get down and dirty with him. Because we're always saying the Democrats don't stand up for anything. The Democrats aren't tough. Here's an opportunity for them to be tough. Hold those files and some of the most disgusting things that we know this president did. You can talk to Stormy Daniels to find out some of the disgusting stuff that Donald Trump did. And she's a grown woman. Imagine those same things, because men are usually creatures of habit. The things that he did sexually with Stormy Daniels, he did with 14-year-old girls. And the Democrats were like, look, dude, fully fund SNAP, revise your guidance on affordable housing. They're going to ask for a couple of other things. Because Trump understands that language. And Trump will be like, well, why should I work with you or compromise with you? Why should Speaker Johnson have a health care bill in the House? Why should John Thune have a health care bill in the Senate? Because then that's when like a Democratic, like Adam Schiff would be like, Mr. Trump, I'm gonna read something from the Epstein files. You're quoted in here. Thank you, Jeffrey. That was the most beautiful and delicious 14-year-old girl that I've ever been with in my entire life. Oh my, she tasted like strawberries. I cannot wait to see her again. Where should I transfer this $72,000 to you, Mr. Epstein? I had a real good time with that 13-year-old girl. Can you bring her 14-year-old sister next time? And so Adam Schiff is going to read that. And then Trump's, whoa, no. What, you want a health care bill? Okay, don't release that. That's very bad. Does not make Trump look very good. I think it's going to be actually that bad. I think so. There's going to be some stuff in there that Donald Trump will not be able to recover from. And if the Democrats say, look, we won't release it, even though maybe they should. If they can get policy out of it, because here's the thing, it's not really going to hurt the American people. Because I think some people already know and don't care. But if they can scare him enough to where Trump believes that his presidency would effectively be over, if certain constituency groups that give Donald Trump cover and give him money and give him access, if they turn their backs on him because of what the Democrats may release in the Epstein files, then I think Donald Trump will be playing ball with the Democrats because he will not want to damage some relationships. Imagine there's some foreign leaders, like foreign dictators, like Viktor Orban from Hungary, that really hates pedophiles, and Donald Trump knows that his relationship with Viktor Orban will be damaged if the Epstein files are released. Donald Trump would be willing to play ball with the Democrats. We're going to have to blackmail the president of the United States. And Democrats, if you need some help, I can help you craft it. Because we still need policy for the American people. We can't go into Christmas with people that were paying $300 a month for their health care insurance now paying $2,300. We can't do that. If the only way to do that is to use what is in those Epstein files and hold it over the president's head, because that's the one thing I think he's afraid of. Because if there was nothing in those files, they would have released it a long time ago. I'm going to take a break, come back, continue our conversation. I also want to shift things back locally. I do want to talk about the poll that I received that shows Mandela Barnes once again losing statewide to a Republican. Now, let me be clear. Mandela Barnes has not entered the race for governor. He's been talking about it. He's been speculating. I think he's even made some telephone calls saying that he actually is going to announce. If he does announce, because he does have more statewide name recognition, I believe, than any other Democrat that would be running. And so Mandela Barnes would either force other Democrats out of the gubernatorial primary or he would win outright. But Tom Tiffany, who is the most likely Republican nominee for governor, if him, Tom Tiffany, a Trump sycophant, and Mandela Barnes face off in November of 2026 in the midterm election, this poll says that Mandela would lose again, just like he lost to Ron Johnson in 2022. And I'm just going to go ahead and say this. We can't afford that. We can't afford to have a Donald Trump supporter leading the state of Wisconsin in control of the executive branch of the state of Wisconsin. So we'll talk more about that poll in a little while. I also have the MPS report card that shows the progress. This is from the Department of Public Instruction. Every year they do a report card giving us details and statistics and numbers and percentages of how our children are doing. It's worse than you think, but I do have some good news with the MPS report card. We're doing better than Racine. We are doing, but let's be clear, out of 100, we scored a 59. So 100 is all the kids are learning beautifully. They all can read. They all can do the math. They're all going to graduate. They're all going to go to college or start jobs. That's the score of 100. Out of that scale, MPS has 59. Racine has 57. So at least we got Racine beat, because had those numbers been reversed, had Racine been beating us? Whew. Exactly. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This season, the Bucks are going for it all.
A game winner for the Greek Freak.
Go inside the team's pursuit of a championship on Locked In, the new season of the Behind the Bucks podcast, narrated by Bucks legend Marcus Johnson. Hear from the team stars on why they think they can make history. It's all on Behind the Bucks on the Bucks Plus audio network. Behind the Bucks is presented by Gallagher, your trusted insurance broker and HR and benefits consultant. Available now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, the new ESPN Wisconsin app, and wherever you get podcasts.
Contract-ready businesses, opportunity seekers, partnership builders, deal closers. Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, is focused on you. This event puts small businesses like yours in the room with buyers, partners, and mentors who can help open doors to bigger opportunities. Join us online December 9th, in person December 10th and 11th at the Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Whether you're in construction, looking for contracts, or a service provider ready to grow, Marketplace Wisconsin is for you. Meet one-on-one with government reps, corporate buyers, and resource providers. Small businesses like yours keep Wisconsin moving forward. Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is here to propel your growth. So join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 10th and 11th. Register at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com. Presented by WEDC. Let's look forward together.
At Educators Credit Union, they believe that every person should have the tools they need to achieve their dreams. Educators Credit Union is dedicated to helping our future leaders eliminate financial hurdles by providing 35 high school seniors a $2,000 scholarship every year. Applications open in January. Visit Educators Credit Union at ECU.com to learn more about how to apply. Educators Credit Union, insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
At Heart of Canal Street, for over 30 years, our hearts have been set on making a difference for children in our community. Now through December 10th, we invite you to share your heart by playing the Canal Street Bingo game at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. Every time you play this special bingo game, you're helping to raise funds for children's charities in southeastern Wisconsin. Learn more at potawatomi.com/heart.
Tired of having the wool pulled over your eyes? U.S. Cellular is offering 4 lines for $90 a month with your choice of 4 of the latest phones for free. No trade-in or hidden requirements. U.S. Cellular, built for us. Terms apply. Visit uscellular.com for details.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
(833-212-1017) 833-212-1017. Oh, look who we have here on line one. I was beginning to worry about this fella because we haven't heard from him in a while. Hello, Bob.
Hello, Sherwin. I didn't like Trump from the time he said messing with Obama's birth certificate. I knew he was a hooked man, and they must have really didn't want a black woman or a woman to be president for him to become president. And I just need to say this one other thing, then I'm going to get off. You got a green hat and a green shirt on. You have to understand, you are square. I know you're square because I'm square.
Hang on a second. Hold on, Bob. Wait.
And I know another. I know.
Who's wearing a green hat? Who's wearing a green hat and a green shirt?
That's what you are not cool, Sherwin. You wear this, you are square like I am.
Bob,
I know.
Stop talking for a second. I got a question for you. Who is wearing a green hat and a green shirt?
That's what it looks like on YouTube. You are not cool.
So Bob, we got to add color blindness to your list of disabilities. I'm wearing red, man.
Well, you wearing the same hat as your shirt, and that's trying to be a little too cool. You got to understand.
Hold on, wait. Now we'll get to my coolness in a second. What color is the hat and the shirt, man? What color does it look like to you?
Now, see there, you getting very technical. You got the same hat on as your shirt.
I'm asking you. Hold on,
Bob. How is it technical? You literally said he has a green shirt and hat, and that is not the color he has on.
He got the
what
same
color am I wearing
hat.
now? Look at the YouTube camera. What color am I wearing now?
Sherwin, the main thing is you're not cool, Sherwin. You have to understand that. Let me see what color shirt. I mean, see, now you're going to get me whatever color that is, you got the same hat on as your shirt, and that's trying to be a little too cool, Sherwin. You're square. I know that you are, because I am. And I will talk to you later, sir. Because I don't want to get in an argument with you. I will talk to you later. Just understand, you are square. Now, see, now it's hard for me to hang up. Doggone it, you had me switch. Oh, shucks. Now, oh, boy. Now, see that? Now, oh, shucks. Let me hang up.
It's only Wednesday. We got 2 more days to go, right?
No, not necessarily. I don't have to come back. You know what I mean? I make a choice every day. And
he was way off with the color. He just threw us all up. I said he was going to do that, though.
At what point do we get him some help? Like, what point do we send somebody to do a wellness check? Like, what do we need to hear?
He needs something, because green, I think the last time you wore green was like a week or 2 ago. Is he watching the old show?
Oh, you know what? He very well could be.
That's horrible.
Yeah, he probably isn't. But here's what's crazy. He'll be listening to what I'm talking about right now because he did talk about Trump, but his video that's playing will be of an old show. So what he's looking at and what he's hearing is 2 totally different things. Somebody need to go check on that, man. Vanessa, you in the chat? Because Vanessa, who's a listener of 1017 The Truth, friend of mine, she actually corresponds with Bob. Like, she checks on him and stuff. I think Vanessa is also the one that bought Bob them beers. Were you at the Beyond the Mic? You might have left already, where Bob drank 2 beers and was so drunk.
I left right before he did it.
He was slamming his bottle on the table. I thought he was going to break the damn beer bottle at Mr. B's. Y'all got me out here drinking. Bob hadn't had a drink, and I believe him, in 50 years.
He said, I had to pull over to the side of the road and use the bathroom, Sherwin.
But he got real nostalgic because he brought not only his saxophone, but his keyboard to Beyond the Mic, which, just so you all know, I did not give him permission to do. And so he played a little set. Bob played a little keyboard set and a saxophone set. And you know what happened? I think Bob, he got taken back to his old days of his youth when he used to be in a band. And he was like, you know what? I'm finna have me a Miller Lite. Or he had a genuine draft. That's what it was. He's like, you know what? I'm going to give me these little beers and I'm going to chase some of these young girls, because Bob was playing his saxophone. He was having the time of his life, and he was playing his little keyboard. And Bob got to reminiscing about 1972. And Bob got to drinking on them genuine drafts. He's like, Bob was, I think I'm going to give me some tail tonight.
Some tail is crazy.
Yeah, that's what they used to. I'm going to get some tail. I'm going to go pull some wool tonight. That's what I'm going to do.
Pull some wool?
Yeah, buddy. Get some trim.
I'm finna start saying that.
You got to pull that wool. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 FM. We'll be right back after these short commercial messages.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Black Business Give Back Spotlight this Friday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tory Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. I will be joined by Trelly Mack, CEO of Hard Labor Entertainment, and we will discuss his thriving clothing brand and how he went from an entertainer to a successful clothing designer simply by networking with the right people. So again, tune into the Black Business Give Back Spotlight with Hard Labor Entertainment this Friday at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
The Milwaukee Panthers hit the road for a big matchup this Wednesday as they travel to Big Ten country to take on the Indiana Hoosiers.
Intercepted by Franklin. Hubbard 1-on-2 into the paint. Left hand floater is pure and he tumbles to the ground. Hubbard left wing. Buries the three. 24-19.
Scott Warris has the coverage Wednesday starting at 5:30 on 1017 The Truth and the Milwaukee Panthers Sports Network from Learfield. Tip-off happens at 6 o'clock.
We believe that self-care isn't selfish. I'm Maddie from Sweet Talks, a women-owned and operated medical spa fostering self-love and confidence. We believe that beauty is about feeling empowered from within, and it's truly a passion for our team at Sweet Talks. Your goals are our goals. Our services go beyond injectables, including facials, lasers, medical weight loss, hormone therapy, and more. There's even a cafe, complimentary to all patients. Get started today at Sweet Talks in Menominee Falls. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
To help those who want to be helped, but may not be able to afford it.
That's what PGA Tour winner Grayson Murray had envisioned for a foundation before he sadly took his own life at just 30 years old. His parents channeled their grief into creating the Grayson Murray Foundation, carrying out his vision to help those struggling with mental health and addiction. To donate and learn more, visit GraysonMurrayFoundation.com.
where strong voices meet strong opinions.
Tell your kids who were supposed to be the seventh generation that Paw Paw's an idiot because Paw Paw decided he wanted to be Make America Great, but meanwhile, the Chinese ain't buying soybeans from us no more because of policies Donald Trump put in, and they voted for us. You know, I don't know what we're gonna do. I know what you should have did. You should have voted for somebody that wasn't gonna put tariffs out there. I love God, but God can't save you from nonsense. You don't deserve a bailout. You can't sit here and vote one way, and then when your economy gets decimated, your way of life gets destroyed, you want to pray to God? God didn't tell you to go to that poll and vote against your own best interest. That was your own damn problem. That was you. But don't ask for prayer when you block your own blessing. That's why I don't feel bad for these farmers. You voted for this, and now you reap what you sow.
Truth to Power with Kyle Wallace, every weekday from 12 to 1, streaming live on YouTube and on 1017 The Truth. Get the truth and nothing but the truth with Sherwin Hughes every weekday from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. on 1017 FM, 1510 a.m. WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Try to take away the juice. You cannot stop it, gotta understand the rules. I've been the type to wear the heart on my sleeve. Been the one to always choose the wrong play. Not the type to ever see me lonely. I keep my socks on during loving. In and out, baby, in and out, cafe. If I ever fall again, you'll be sure that it is a friend.
Welcome to Hour 2 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. So now I just have come to find out with the new email that I got that if the petition to release the Epstein files passes the House and there are 218 votes, then the petition has to go through a process called ripening where it sits for 7 days, okay? And during the ripening process, the Senate readies itself to receive that petition. And if the Senate votes in the affirmative, then they will release all of the Epstein files. I've just come to find out that the Senate is going to block it. I just want people to know this. I want to say this on the record, so it is on the record. The U.S. Senate is planning on blocking the full release of the Epstein files, effectively protecting the pedophilia that Donald Trump has been accused of. The files that he has not wanted to release, the files that have been the bane of his existence, the files that his FBI director said she had on her desk and was ready to release them, said she was going to release them, couldn't wait to release them. She had them on her desk. She was going to release them on a Monday a couple of months ago. She was going to release them until she read them, and then she did not release them. That got some Republicans very angry and very upset, and so these Republicans that were angry and upset in the House of Representatives banded together with all of the Democrats in the House that want those files released, because I think that Congress needs to know who are they supporting with their legislation. When Donald Trump has an idea, has a proposal, or wants to build a ballroom, members of Congress have every right to know, well, who is this guy? What do we not know about him and his background and his people and his affiliations and additional federal crimes that he may have committed? And that's a problem because right now he is law enforcement for the federal government. The president enforces the law. And so I can understand how some Republicans, before they vote in the affirmative for a Donald Trump idea or policy, they may want to know what Trump was into before he became president of the United States. And so rightfully so, those Republicans and all the Democrats want that information released, but the Senate said they're going to block it. We will never know what's in them. This is how far the Republican Party is willing to go to protect him, at the same time allowing your health care costs to go up fivefold and 24 million people to no longer be covered, and for Medicare and Medicaid expansion through the Affordable Care Act to be shrunk. They're going to do that to you. At the same time, they're going to protect him. The Senate is not going to allow the release of the Epstein files. Here's where we are. So my whole blackmail plot, this is not even going to work, because I would assume that if the House passes the discharge petition and the House is clearing the way for the Department of Justice to have no choice but to release these files, you would, because the Senate is not in this fight. This is a House of Representatives matter. But you would think that the Senate would just say, okay, well, look, if it passes the House, well, then why would we stop it? This is a House of Representatives matter because they started the investigation into Trump and Epstein in the first place. And so if the House passes it, you would think that John Thune would be like, all right, well, cool. We're not going to get in the way of it. The House passes it. We'll just vote in the affirmative on party lines if we have to, and the damn thing would pass. Even though in the Senate it would probably be damn near unanimous, because I'm sure there are some senators who need something credible so they can start legitimately distancing themselves from Trump. It's easy to distance yourself from a man who, in the files, there's probably some very descriptive and illicit explanations of his involvement with young girls. And a Republican who's running for re-election next year can very easily say, yeah, I'm not going to be with Trump anymore on this legislation because, you know, he's done some really awful things. Republicans need a legitimate reason to distance themselves from him, and these files would be it. But if the files are not released, then there is no reason for them to distance themselves from him. At the same time, the governing and the business of the nation needs to go on, but it can't. Because if Donald Trump doesn't want it to happen, like if he doesn't want you to get your SNAP benefits, you're just not going to get them. And if states say, you know what, we're going to feed our people, because governors take their responsibility to take care of their children more so than the president. And if the states go ahead and they release the full SNAP benefits, then the federal government on Donald Trump's order is not going to pay these states back. So you know what that means? States are going to have to use emergency funds, which some states don't have. Some states are going to have to raise taxes in an already inflationary environment where tariffs are threatening affordability. Some states are going to have to lay off workers. Some states are going to have to shrink the size of their state troopers. Some states, to cover the cost of SNAP, are going to have to reduce the amount of money that they give to local governments and shared revenue. And Donald Trump is causing all of this. At the same time, he is going to be protected by the U.S. Senate. He will be protected and shielded from releasing the Jeffrey Epstein files. This goes beyond embarrassment. Like, I'm ashamed. There's more grace given to a person to do bad if you're also doing good. So he has his legal and moral foibles. Trump does. But if he lowered taxes and raised the minimum wage and reinstated diversity, equity, and inclusion and said that affirmative action should still be used, if he did those things, and if he said, oh no, let's protect voting rights for black people, let's make sure that African Americans aren't having their polling locations closed, and let's make mail-in balloting as safe as possible and people can vote by mail and they can vote early. If he was doing all of those things, and let's have affordable health care in the country. If he was doing all of those things, a lot of us would care less about how bad of a human being he is. But he's the bad human being, and he's not doing any of those positive and productive things for the American people. Right now, no one is getting anything positive out of this administration. You know who's getting it the worst? Poor rural white folks that believe that Donald Trump was going to be their savior. They went hungry first. They lost their SNAP benefits and don't have the necessary food bank infrastructure in some of those small rural towns like we do in the city. I was watching a Sunday morning political talk show. I don't know which one. They all tend to run together. Cities are liberal. This is what one of the people said. It was real profound. I'm going to try and state it as this individual did that was on this panel. I think it was on Meet the Press. It was real eloquent how he said it. Cities are liberal not because they have to be, but because they want to be. Cities have people that are dedicated to helping other people. There's organizations, there's nonprofits, there's departments within governments that look at things like black male achievement and Hispanic male achievement. If people are going hungry, we'll turn our whole Milwaukee public school system into a gigantic food bank. We even do it in the summertime. Cities don't have to be, when I say liberal, I don't mean liberal voting, liberal as in helping people. That's a choice that cities make. And for some reason, Republican cities don't see that same kind of liberty. In fact, some of those Republican cities that don't have that same kind of liberal because you can be attitude will come to the city of Milwaukee and enjoy and take advantage of and manipulate our liberal because we want to be attitude. They were coming here for their COVID shots. If somebody from Waukesha County or Washington County or Dodge County runs out of food and there's no food at their food bank, if they came to Second Harvest or if they came to any of our food banks here in Milwaukee, we would feed those people. Yet for some reason, they think that cities are just the worst places on earth, but they come here for their fun. They come here for their entertainment. They come to our county for our state fair. And I'm glad that they come to our county every year for our state fair because those small town rural white folks are the best people watching you could ever imagine. I wish that they just had a live camera at state fair and I'd pay $9.99 for unlimited access to the Wisconsin State Fair live video feed. I just sit and watch it on my computer eating popping corn. All right, why don't we do this? We're going to start a fresh segment, and I want to share the details of the 2024-2025 public report on the Milwaukee Public School District, and I also want to give you some insights and my thoughts on education because I think it's extremely important how our children are doing, especially because we give them a lot of backpacks. I don't know if there's another city in the country that does more backpack giveaways than we do here. See, we're liberal because we want to be. Look at all the back-to-school events that we have, and part of that is parents are just ready for their damn kids to get the hell out of the house and go back to school. That's why they love celebrating back to school time. And we give the children all the backpacks and the pencils and the folders, and we give them the notebooks and everything they need, rulers and protractors and colored pencils and whatever else children need. We have so many backpack giveaways because I think that we truly believe in the education of our young people and developing them into leaders that can do a much better job with this city than this current incarnation of leaders. We invest in our children. We pour into our children. We hope that they don't become Kia boys and Kia girls. So we start every single year with fresh optimism about the upcoming school year, and I love it. And sometimes they'll show the first day of school at some MPS schools. They roll out a red carpet for the children. Have you guys ever seen that? And the governor will come, the mayor will be there, and the county executive will be there, and they roll out this red carpet, and they don't call them students anymore. No. They call them scholars, which a little extreme, a little hyperbolic, because if you can't read, I get it. Like, they want to manifest that these children are scholars by calling them scholars. It's kind of like how some black people call each other kings and queens. Some of us are not royalty. But you want to manifest the royal attitude, so we call each other kings and queens. And so they call the young people scholars, and they do these big welcome backs for the children. Because I think that we believe that our tax dollars are going to the right place when we're investing in our schools and our children. Because every single time the MPS school district asks for more money, another referendum, we give it to them. We sure do. There's some hesitation because we're not always seeing the best return on our investment, but you guys know that if the district says we need more money for the babies got to have the money, because that's how they sound when they're trying to promote the next referendum. And then the public could be like, damn, didn't we just give y'all 2 referendums? Yes, but the babies, their feet are growing, and we got to buy the babies new shoes, and we got to get the babies the rectangle pizza because the babies are hungry. And then we'll be like, okay, well, how much money do y'all need? That's what the public is saying when the district is asking for more money. We'll be like, well, how much you need? And we pull out our wallet. We start patting our pocket. All right, well, how much y'all need? We don't need a lot. We just need a little bit. Okay, how much? $250 million. That's all we need. That's all we're going to need. And we give it to them. Well, I'm going to give the details of with that $250,000 referendum in 2023 and the $80 million in 2020. So that's carried to $330 million over the last 5 years. Let's talk about how the children at the Milwaukee public school system are performing We'll go over the 2024-2025 report card on the other side. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's College Month on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth, and we want to help your young scholar get those free scholarship dollars. All month long, we'll be highlighting local organizations who help students find thousands of dollars in scholarships each year. So be sure to tune in to 101.7 The Truth's College Month so you can learn how your scholar can get those scholarship dollars. College Month on The Truth is sponsored by Marquette University and Educators Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
Talk to these people in terms of how do I register for this program despite my reservations and my previous experiences of rejection?
Yes, I tell anybody and everybody that you can buy a house. It may take somebody longer than the other person depending on what your circumstances is with your credit and income and affordability, but you can purchase a house. The first step would be is to register for our program. You can come to our office, 7830 West Burleigh Street, or you can give us a call at 414-461-6330, or just go onto our website, hri-wi.org. Register for the first-time home buyer education workshop. That's going to be your first step to home ownership. During that class, you're going to learn everything that you need to know from A to Z, how to get approved for a house, how to look for a house and put an accepted offer, and how to close on a home.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at Hawes Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact Hawes of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
You make time for everyone else. Family, work, everything in between. Now it's time to take care of you. If you're 45 to 64 and don't have insurance or your plan doesn't cover screenings, you may qualify for free mammograms and Pap tests through the City of Milwaukee Health Department's Breast and Cervical Cancer Awareness Program. Call 414-286-2133 to see if you're eligible. Real self-care starts with your health, and early detection saves lives. Funded by Wisconsin Well Woman. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/wellwoman.
Did you forget the first day of school is this week and little Nancy still needs her name embroidered on her backpack? Or the company shirts are due now, not next week? Maybe the boss just declared Steve's retirement party is today and the shirts are mandatory? Whatever the rush. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more in Mequon has got you covered. With fast turnarounds, no minimums, eco-friendly printing, and high-quality custom apparel, Big Frog brings your custom ideas to life fast. Stop by Big Frog in Mequon or visit bigfrog.com/Mequon. Big Frog Custom T-Shirts and more, where your ideas leap to life.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I can't get no love, no. If I don't get no.
We think it's important, don't we, to make sure that the young people are getting the best education that we can pay for with our tax dollars, because, you know, we're cultivating leaders and we want the scholars to realize their full potential. I think most folks would agree with that. There also is a pretty widely held understanding that, the public school system, it's failing. It's not working. It's not delivering. The numbers are low, reading and math, and low proficiency, and the young people are not on grade level. And we see those numbers and the statistics and percentages, and we assume, and rightfully so, that is failure, because no one should accept such poor performance considering our public investment. So between what we invest in law enforcement, public safety, and education, personally, I think that the heavier we invest in education, the less money that we'll need in law enforcement. education is a better investment in safe streets than cops. And I maintain that position because some of the safest places I've ever been to, you don't even really see any police. But you also see people that have very high levels of education, very successful careers, a lot of job opportunities, et cetera. So shifting more money into education and preventative programs, I think can save us a ton of money on law enforcement. But whenever you talk about, because somebody will take that and simplify it and like, oh, that means defund the police. No, that means being smart with our money and investing it in places where we're just going to need less police altogether. It's no. You want to defund the police. That's what that is. So when people took that phrase of defund the police and they ran with it, they used it as a negative trope against people that saw the keys to safer communities is investing in young people and giving them options and opportunities to where criminality is not even considered. But whatever. So some would just assume with the low levels of reading proficiency and math proficiency that the district is failing. It's broken. But what if it isn't, though? What if it is not? What if we did like other places in other cities? D.C. metro area did it. I think that they may have done something in New Jersey, whether it was Trenton, New Jersey, or another city in New Jersey. Baltimore did something similar. So where they had very similar demographically to our public school system. A lot of schools were in need of improvement. Reading scores were low. Math scores were low. They changed the pedagogy. They changed the curriculum. They updated it to better accommodate where children are and their current social circumstances, and those children improved dramatically. There were some Chicago charter schools that also did that as well. They got some of the worst kids from some Chicago public schools that went to this particular charter school, and next thing you know, these kids are getting damn scholarships to Harvard, and they had a 100% high school graduation rate. So there is a way, there is a formula, and I don't want anyone to think that the young people here in Milwaukee are dumber than everywhere else, and to think that, oh, no, MPS is broken. What if it isn't broken? What if it's supposed to work exactly like this? We as black people tend to see the humanity in other people, and we compare our humanity against theirs, and we wonder why, at the end of the day, why we still get treated less than fairly, why racism is even still a thing. We wonder why, because we are incredibly moral people. In fact, America got its moral currency from us. Now, I will also say that we have mostly spent and exhausted our black moral currency. But if you wanted to look at the most righteous people, it was African Americans living through Jim Crow that weren't destroying the country every single day. It's like the peace and the calm that we can have living in parts of the country where you weren't even realized as a human being. You couldn't testify on a jury. They wouldn't let you vote. If you had to use the bathroom and there was only a whites-only bathroom, you would have to use the bathroom on yourself. And we endured that for 100 years. That is a very, very moral people. And I'm sure there's probably some other adjectives you could throw in there as well. And we just wonder, why still to this day are people treated unfairly because of the color of their skin, with us being the dominant group, bearing that burden? And this comes face to face with our morality. But if you are them, their success for far too long comes from our oppression. They don't really know how to share success or be competitive in their success or share resources with other people, because they fear, in order to maintain their superiority, they have to have all of the options and all of the opportunity to guarantee their success and the success for their offspring. They don't want to share it. They don't know how to do that. They haven't been trained nor taught to share and to be one community with the rest of us, you see. So what interest do they have in educating your kids? What do they benefit from if your kids outperform theirs? So why would they have a system where you can corral our children, you have them all under one roof? Why would you give those tools to be successful, to beat white children and academically outperform them? So that more black kids can get into Ivy League schools? Some more black kids can get jobs and opportunities in the trades? Why would they do that? Think about this. They control that district. They have a disproportionate amount of impact on the performance of our kids. And it's not like they can't figure it out. There have been other places and other school districts just as challenged or more challenged than MPS, and even have less money than MPS. We fund our students, our schools. We're like in the top 5 in the country. In the country of how much per pupil allocation we provide to Milwaukee Public School students. So this has nothing to do with money. In fact, that money is being misused. But at the end of the day, knowing what we know about America, like when do you think America turned a corner and decided it wanted to be nice and fair to black people? Never. It's always black people being nice and fair to everybody else. So if you don't think that America has turned that corner, which I don't think America has, why would you think that these folks that control the pedagogy of our kids' education would want our kids to be successful? Let's say there is a formula that they use in Baltimore, Maryland, where you can take an underperforming majority black and brown school district and make it high performing. And let's say MPS has that blueprint like the damn Republicans got the Epstein files, but they just don't want to execute it. What benefit do they get from educating kids that aren't theirs? Because you're going to be providing those children the keys to an unlimited future. Why would they do that for black kids? And nobody can answer that question. Or you don't want to answer that question. Why would they sacrifice more for our kids than for their own? Because if MPS was that kind of a district, then how come these white teachers and administrators and principals wouldn't dare send their kids to MPS? Like they work there, but wouldn't send their kids there. I don't know if I would trust a restaurant where the wait staff and the service staff and the hosts and the cooks and the chefs all work there but won't eat there. You ever think about that? Imagine somebody who works at Applebee's. And if you ask them, like, oh, what's your favorite menu item here, worker at Applebee's? And they say, ugh, I don't eat here. I eat at the Red Lobster. You'd be a little confused. If there's a teacher or an administrator or a principal, I told y'all about this 1,001 times. I got a friend that has a school-age child. And for like 5 years, she lived directly across the street from an elementary school and a middle school. Directly across the street. And this is a pro-union MPS teacher, go yay public schools, wearing them T-shirts saying I love my public school, all the things. And she is a teacher with a master's degree, and she has a school-age child. Now the boy is in high school now, okay? It's a public school directly across the street. You know what she does? Sends her kid to a private school. But if a black family wants to do the exact same thing, these voucher schools are, no. All voucher schools ain't bad. You know what a voucher school is? Pious, Dominican, Thomas More, Divine Savior, Saint Sebastian. That's where all the liberal white folks send their kids to school. You know that, right on 55th and Washington Boulevard? That's right. That's where they send their kids. They are not sending their kids to MPS because MPS is for your kids. It's just like in the black community, you're going to have a bunch of liquor stores and a bunch of fast food restaurants. Go out to New Berlin or Muskego or McGuanago. Don't know those fast food restaurants. That's for y'all in y'all's community. We're going to have Panera and Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A is overrated. It is. Ain't nothing special about Chick-fil-A. First of all, I remember Chick-fil-A when they was in Northridge Mall in the 1990s. They wasn't hitting on nothing back then. It's because they brought back Chick-fil-A. They brought back Chick-fil-A for a generation of people that never had Chick-fil-A back when it was here in the 1990s. So y'all think it's new. Ain't nothing new under the sun. Man, I know you got something to say, Ricky.
Do anybody talk about your Chipotle? Your Qdobas? Your pickle sandwiches? No, we don't. We let you have it. So let's have our Chick-fil-A.
I'm not trying to take the Chick-fil-A away from y'all. First of all, I don't even really eat at Chipotle like that,
I think their pickle sandwiches are nasty.
Then don't eat them.
Don't eat Chick-fil-A.
I don't need to eat Chick-fil-A.
Don't down talk it then.
I'm just saying it's overrated. It's just a chicken sandwich,
it's delicious.
Dude. Okay.
Magnificent.
So is Chipotle, apparently. Because that's where you think I eat at.
Eat one of them places. I know it's like you eat a dill pickle sandwich.
Yes. No, I went to Jimmy John's and got the number 6 on a pickle. I don't need to get it again.
Talk about my chick.
But lately in life, I like pickles. Stenny's Tavern on 2nd and National, they make a good dill pickle pizza.
I
You
like
gotta
that
try
mac
it.
and cheese.
They got mac and cheese?
Oh, yes. It's delicious.
You lying?
Mm-hmm.
Stenny's got mac and cheese?
Yeah, I used to go there back in my drunken days and eat there a lot. They got good chicken, too. They really know for their chicken.
Their wings is on, but their wings is little, though. But that's actually what a chicken wing is supposed to look like. These big ass. You ever see some chicken wings? It look like a whole.
Oh yeah, and I'd be like,
whole chicken leg.
I'd be like, I am not eating that, sir.
But Stenny's wings are what chicken wings are supposed to look like. Because chicken wings are small when you cook them, right? They're itty bitty. Like you got some of these places that have these hyper steroided big old. How do we get talking about chicken? See there? There are different tiers in our society, and we always seem to be on the lower tier. Ladies and gentlemen, that's not a coincidence. There is no motivation to invest in black people or even to level the playing field, because once you give us the tiniest bit of opportunity or the tiniest bit of equality or equity, we as black people will excel. We don't need much. You got to keep this in mind. 160 years ago, we couldn't even read. Look, 160 years ago, we couldn't read, and we've already served 2 terms of the presidency in that same 160 years. That's crazy, our progress. In fact, we were performing successful surgeries and creating things and inventing things while our schools were still segregated. Now, I'm not making the case for resegregating our schools, but the science, technology, engineering, and math curated by black scientists all took place. Some of the most monumental inventions, like, the damn traffic light, all took place when the schools were segregated. When you integrate the schools, you have the ability to stifle and water down the black child's curriculum so that they are no longer successful. We seem to think that teachers all love our kids. Teachers have a job. Just give them the test, and if they don't act up, expel them. Now, there are some teachers that have the best of intentions, and I feel bad for them because they still have a job to do. And you as an individual teacher that loves these poor little black children, and sometimes these white teachers, especially the ones that don't have kids and can't have kids, they see these kids in MPS, like, oh my God, I wish I could take them all home with me. They treat our kids like rescue dogs sometimes, because they think that our communities and our homes are unfit. It's really, really twisted how they think about our kids. Awful. But even that teacher with the best of intentions, she can't defeat the system. The system is we're going to make sure that we are creative enough not to get caught to stifle the progress of black children, because if black children become successful, they're going to outcompete white kids. And, you can't have that. You already got too many white people on SNAP as it is. The face of SNAP since the shutdown has been nothing but poor white families that we're supposed to feel sorry for. Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS, is a diverse district that welcomes all students, preparing them for success in higher education, post-education opportunities, work, and citizenship. MPS is committed to providing an educational environment that is child-centered and supports achievement while collaborating with students, families, and community for the benefit of all. MPS grades K4 through 12. Enrollment, 65,500. Percent open enrollment, 3.4%. So that means that 1,800 kids don't live in the district but attend MPS schools. American Indian or Alaskan Native, 0.3% of the student body population. Asian, 9.3% of the MPS student population. Hispanic or Latino, 28.9% of the MPS population. Black or African American, 48.3% of the MPS student body. Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, 0.1%. White, 8.7%. 2 or more races, 4.4%. 20.2% of the students in the Milwaukee Public School system have disabilities. 80.8% are economically disadvantaged, and 17.5% are English learners. Overall score. Report cards including the weighting of the achievement and growth priority areas are governed by Wisconsin State Statutes 115.385. Score summary out of 100. The overall score for the Milwaukee Public School system is 59.5. You're listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. Don't go anywhere. I'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
At Milwaukee College Prep, we believe brilliance lives in every child. Here, students are challenged, supported, and celebrated every single day. With small class sizes, dedicated teachers, and a proven track record of academic excellence, MCP is helping Milwaukee kids reach their fullest potential. Enrollment is still open for grades K-3 through 8. Spaces are limited. Apply today. Give your child a school where they'll thrive. Visit mkeprep.com or call today. Milwaukee College Prep, brilliance lives here.
Your big night deserves more than just music. Prom, homecoming, graduation, weddings, corporate gatherings. Every occasion deserves a soundtrack that elevates the moment. I'm Kyrie, DJ Reed Maniac Brooks, community leader and your dedicated DJ. From the very first consultation to the last track, I'll make sure every detail aligns with your vision. For more information about how you can make your event unforgettable, visit www.djreemaniac.com. That's www.djreemaniac.com. Make your event an experience with DJ Reed Maniac.
Hey Truth Nation, it's Rhea Riley and I'm here with Ashley Lucas from Associated Bank, and this is Making Your Money Work. Let's dive in. So Ashley, how should a business owner look for the right bank?
It's really important that businesses understand what their bank offers for small business. There's a lot of different ways they can look for it. Number one is do your research. Always make sure you're looking at the website and the different products and services they have to offer. That could mean looking at minimum balances, looking at fees, and also make sure that you're asking friends and family that are also business owners. Is there a bank that they've really liked to work with in the past for their business? It doesn't always mean it's the same bank that you bank with personally.
And what questions should business owners ask their banks?
Yeah, so when you're ready to open a business account, it's really important that they're going to ask you questions at the bank. The bank is going to ask your average balances, if you use a debit card, how you make your payments. But it's really important that you ask questions back. You want to pick the top 3 things that are really important to you in a bank. That could be, what does convenience look like? How many locations do you have? What does digital banking look like if you're somebody that always does stuff for your business on the go? And lastly, who is your point of contact? Do you have a small business relationship manager assigned to you? Or is it just whoever's available to help you at the bank? Those are some types of questions that you could ask, but you want to come prepared with the things that are most important to you.
How can I find out if Associated Bank is right for my business?
Something I'm really proud of at Associated Bank is not only our small business product suite, but also the people that work at the bank. Every single one of our branch managers is business certified, and we also have a small business relationship management team. You can stop by in any one of our branches or call our virtual relationship management hotline at 1-800-270-7725, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. to get more information.
This has been Making Your Money Work, brought to you by Associated Bank.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Can be a lonely place when you're just a name without a face. You can disappear without a trace and be gone.
833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. Let's talk to a patiently waiting Miss Nikki. Miss Nikki, you're on 1017 The Truth. How are you?
I'm good, Sherwin, and thank you so much for taking my call. And I really love when you talk about NPS because, you know, this is always a passion point for me, especially when you're speaking on NPS and how, you know, individuals who even teach an NPS won't even send their kids to NPS, right? And not only do we have individuals in NPS who are not sending their kids to NPS, we have people that teach in NPS who don't even live in the city of Milwaukee. So how do we realistically make meaningful change in the school district when there's an internal disconnect, right? Because you look at those teachers, those are the folks who are boots on the ground, and we look for them to advocate. But why should they really care that we are, you know, like you said, a lot of them don't, you know, it's a job. until parents, who children go to MPS understand that, they're putting a lot on the teacher who's just there to do a job. It's a strong collaboration that needs to happen between the district and the parent, and it has to be intentional, right? So I always try to think about this, like, how do we make this meaningful change when there's such a disconnect and there's no true, to me, and this is just my opinion, intentionality in regards to how we're connecting our parents and making sure that they're involved in the school system. The superintendent was on another talk show, and I'm not going to bring up the name, but I had asked the question. And my question was, how are they going to hold the parent coordinators, because every single school has one? How do you hold these parent coordinators accountable for true intentional involvement when there's no matrix that they have to actually meet? Right? So it's like when we think about NPS and we talk about parents being involved, it has to be some intentionality behind it, because to me, it seems easier to blame the parents for not being involved because it keeps them totally blind to the fact of what's currently going on. And it hurts my heart that this is actually happening, but I just don't know how do we make real change. But because paying the superintendent over $400,000 a year, we're leaving it up to her. Right? And to me, that's so much money. Why so much? But again, if you don't live in the city, your property taxes are not impacted. And if your children are not attending school there, your child education is not impacted. So who's really being impacted? And those who are really being impacted are those who are not involved. So I just want to kind of speak on this because this has been in my mind for a long time. And I just don't know how do we fix it and who fixes it and if it can be fixed in its current state.
Miss Nikki, I appreciate you calling. I have answers for all of your questions.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll hang up and listen.
All right. I'm not taking anything away from Superintendent Brenda Casilius. In fact, she has made herself available to talk to pretty much anybody. I know she set up meetings with elected officials and members of the Common Council because she wanted to get to know them and vice versa. I know that I think she was here. I don't know if Dr. Ken interviewed her or if Carrie and Ben may have interviewed her, but she's been to 1017 The Truth. I haven't talked to her because I don't need to. Contrary to what Miss Nikki said, and I do appreciate Miss Nikki's call and her passion, it's not on the superintendent. The superintendent, Dr. Howard Fuller, will tell you that the superintendent has no power. The superintendent is there to keep order on behalf of the board. We got to be clear about that. Don't think because we get a new superintendent, and she going to be gone in 2 years, too. Don't get used to her. In fact, Miss Casilius, I'm sure you're a very nice lady, but I hope you ain't buy a house. I hope you hope you renting. Because if you bought a house, when you leave, it's going to be hard to sell now. So I just hope you got you a little apartment because we don't keep you all long. The public thinks that we get a new superintendent like, oh, they're going to fix the system. The system is working exactly how it's supposed to. Let me give you a more broader perspective. What do you think white folks do? If white folks create an institution and it corrals black people and black children, what do you think the white folks are going to do with that? Make sure the black people that are corralled in it are successful? As much as y'all complain about racism, we don't see it when it's working in front of our faces. And if you have multiple generations of a grandmama, a mama, the kids and the grandkids that all went to MPS, statistically, they're probably all undereducated, and they won't even know how to combat the system that undereducated them because they're not educated enough to know they're undereducated. How do you change it? We need parental involvement. All that's an excuse. You think the parents out in Grafton and Cedarburg and Germantown, where's another one? Elk Forest, DeForest, Elkhorn, Horn Elk, Ramsey. I don't even know if Ramsey, Wisconsin even exists. You think those parents sit and read to their kids every night? Hell no. No. But for some reason, well, no, the black parents got to be involved. Them white parents, they don't care. They don't care. Those teachers out there in them schools where they know that they're educating their kids, those teachers take the job a little bit different. They take it seriously. Serious in a different way. Their instructions are different. Parents ain't got to be involved out there. Them kids are going to get A's. They're going to graduate with honors. They're going to get letters of recommendation to the best college. And parents don't need to be involved. That's a trick. That's a lie. They're trying to say, hey, black family that's already stretched too thin, trying to work 2 jobs, trying to afford your health care, trying to afford rent, trying to take care of other family members and help them raise their kids and try to have a life. Oh, by the way, your kids are failing because you're not involved. Get out of here with that. So how do you change it, right? We got to change it. Got to change NPS. Priority score areas, language arts. Out of 100, the NPS score for language arts is 37.8. The statewide average is 63.9. That's out of 100. Mathematics, the NPS average out of 100 is 32.2. The statewide average is 65.6. And let me be clear, there are some outstate rural school districts that are just as poor as NPS, but they're still doubling our scores in English and math. This is not about money. Here's how you fix it. You leave. Ladies that are listening that may have children in the school district, you love that man, don't you? But you can't change him. You've tried. You've been patient. You try to work with him. You try to explain. You try to just stick it out and hope that one day it would change. You've tried counseling. You've tried therapy. You can't change him. You have to leave it. This school system is not going to, like Superman is not coming. You have to leave it. That neighborhood, you was in that neighborhood for a long time. You saw the neighborhood change. The homeowners moved out. The renters move in. The trash is piling up. The fights and the arguments and the gang activity. You used to didn't hear no gunshots. You ain't hear no gunshots in that neighborhood. Now you hear them every night. How you going to change the neighborhood? You can't. You got to leave. You got to go somewhere else. You ain't going to change it. They want you to think that you can change it. You got to leave. If you can, you got to go. Just like you can't change a person, you got to leave them. Just like you can't change the school district, you have to leave it because there are better school districts and better educational options for our children. We'll talk more about that on the other side. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com. It's College Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth, and we want to help your young scholar get those free scholarship dollars. All month long, we'll be highlighting local organizations who help students find thousands of dollars in scholarships each year. So be sure to tune in to 1017 The Truth's College Month so you can learn how your scholar can get those scholarship dollars. College Month on The Truth is sponsored by Marquette University and Educators Credit Union.
Contract-ready businesses, opportunity seekers, partnership builders, deal closers. Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, is focused on you. This event puts small businesses like yours in the room with buyers, partners, and mentors who can open doors to bigger opportunities. Join us online December 9th and in person December 10th and 11th at Baird Center in downtown Milwaukee. Whether you're a construction company looking for contracts or a service provider ready to grow, Marketplace Wisconsin is for you. Meet one-on-one with government reps, corporate buyers, and resource providers. Small businesses like yours keep Wisconsin moving forward. Wisconsin Economic Development Corporation is here to propel your growth. So join them for Marketplace Wisconsin, the Governor's Conference on Diverse Business Development, December 10th and 11th. Register today at marketplacewisconsin.com. That's marketplacewisconsin.com. Presented by WEDC. Let's look forward together.
Your home has been working hard for you. Now it's time to let it work a little harder. With a home equity line of credit from Brewery Credit Union, you can turn the equity you've built into smart solutions. Pay off high-interest debt, remodel your kitchen, or take care of life's unexpected expenses with flexible access to funds when you need them. Apply today and put your home's value to work for you. Visit brewerycu.com or stop by Brewery Credit Union. Equal housing lender. Federally insured by NCUA.
Sharon needed legal help. She needed Gruber Law Offices.
When I think about Gruber Law Office, I think about how they took care of me, how they make sure that you get what you're supposed to get. Gruber Law Office. One call, that's all. I will always trust one call, that's all.
Injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today. One call, that's all.
They are the best. I'm very happy.
Wisconsin winters can be tough, and so are higher energy bills. The Community Advocates Milwaukee County Energy Assistance Program is ready to help you. Eligible Milwaukee County residents can receive help with their energy bills and weatherization benefits to keep you warm and help you manage your heating and electric bills. Schedule your personal appointment at keepwarmmke.org or call 414-270-4653. For more details about locations and hours of operation, go to communityadvocates.net. This program is administered by the State of Wisconsin Department of Administration.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Saxophone man.
Every school in the district isn't bad. You've got some high performers, and I love how people say, well, I went to MPS and I'm not dumb. Or I know somebody that did good in life and they went to the district. Oh, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen. They've got some incredibly high performing schools. Here's the thing. Those high performing schools have limited seats. It's 65,000 kids in the district. The high-performing seats maybe 1,200 or 1,300, and guess who fills those seats? Now, when MPS teachers, principals, and administrators want to send their kid to a district school, they send them to the high-performing ones. When those seats are full, the rest of the children that need that same kind of access to high-performing teachers, the best technology, the best curriculum, they don't get it because those seats are already filled. So they do maintain some really high-performing schools. The problem is every school is not up to that standard. And so, absolutely. That's like saying, like somebody who thinks Milwaukee is just like a terrible, crime-ridden, poverty-stricken place. And then somebody says, well, I'm from Milwaukee and I've never been to jail before and I'm worth $700,000. Well, yeah, of course. It's always possible. There's always going to be success stories. But by and large, and if I continue reading the numbers, considering how much money that we invest per pupil, because the money is not necessarily going to where the children need the investment. It's going to make sure that the teachers, like as Ms. Nikki said, that don't live in the district are compensated handsomely for having to deal with our children. That's what that is. Oh, there's teachers that make $90,000. Stop all that nonsense. Oh, we got to pay teachers more. They get a master's degree. They're easily 60 plus. Retire after 25 years, you're set for life. In fact, you only have to be in a classroom. Well, unless they changed it, you only had to be in a classroom for 2 years, and then you can start applying to be an administrator or a principal. The number of applications that they would get after year 2, because they didn't even want to be in a classroom with our kids. They wanted to climb the ladder, maybe be somewhere at central office where you've got dozens of people. We don't know their names. We don't even know what they do. All of them are making 6 figures. Ain't been in a classroom in 15 years. It's the cash cow, and they keep asking the public for more money because they talk about, oh, the kids are doing so bad. If we just got more money, we're going to make sure that the kids will do better. And we give them more money, and there are more and more people in central office. Now, Brenda Casillas, she did come in and want to thin the herd a little bit, but there's only so much the board is going to let her do because that district has got to follow a set of instructions, and the instructions are just make sure you're following the order and the rules here. With Missy Zombor being the president of the school district, the chances for our children to be universally successful going to that school district are next to zero. Now, the high-performing students and the high-performing schools who get the majority of the referendum money, they're going to be fine. So you have some schools, I'm going to give you an example. There's some schools that have lost their creative arts program and their art classes and all the extracurriculars. And you can say whatever you want about some of those extracurriculars and say, oh, those don't help the kids do better on tests. I can make a case that they do because some kids are only curious about art. They only want to be in art class. And because those art classes are there, these kids are coming to school every single day. And because they're coming to school every single day because they can't wait for that art class, they're going to pay a little bit more attention in math. They're going to pay a little bit more attention in reading, but they're there because of that art class. If you take that art class away, some of these kids are like, I'm not going back, right? So you have all the extracurriculars at the high-performing schools. So when the referendum passes, where do you think the referendum money goes first? Not to the schools that need it, not to the schools that should have an art program, to fortify the art programs that already exist in high-performing schools. High-performing schools get the money first. Just like if there's a federal budget that gives tax cuts to people, who gets the tax cuts first? Not poor people, not middle-class people. Rich people do. And whatever is left you give to the middle class and to the poor. The district works the same damn way. It is a microcosm of what is happening right now in America. Aisha Carr told us that. Now she's facing felony charges. Go figure. She was opposed to the most recent referendum. She tried to have a town hall meeting with her constituents. She got clearance to use, because the kids were on spring break. The building was empty. She got permission and clearance from building and facilities to use this building and have a town hall meeting to tell her constituents, which elected her at the time to the second school board district. I think it's the second school board district. She wanted to have a conversation, a town hall meeting, because that's what we want our elected officials to do. And she was going to tell people in our community that were confused about the referendum why she, as a board member, was against it. You know what they did? They immediately told her, after they found out that she was going to be against the referendum and she was going to have a town hall meeting encouraging her constituents and her voters that they should be against it too, they did not allow her to use that building. They told her she couldn't use it. So she came here that day on my radio show. Now she's facing felony charges. Damn. Not saying it's a coincidence, but you know, if a board member is against more money for the district, isn't it worth listening to them? She told us that the schools that don't need the money get the lion's share of the money, and the schools that need the money get nothing. They are maintaining a two-tiered system. And then we're over here wondering, well, what can we do to fix it? Some things you can't fix. Sometimes you just have to leave. Now, I'm not telling everybody to pack up now, but if you think that the system is going to change, you know how much effort it takes? It takes 100 years, really, for black people to get anything major and meaningful. It takes a century. That's how long it takes. So how far are we into our MPS turnaround fight? What, 30 or 40 years? Well, no, in 60 or 70 years, it'll be great. Target group outcomes: achievement, growth, chronic absenteeism, and graduation. Out of a score of 100, the graduation rate is 73.7%. Let me fortify that by saying not graduating from high school is like shooting off one of your feet. Chronic absenteeism, 43%. Achievement out of 100, 13.5%. On track for graduation, 48.7%. Statewide average for graduation, 91.9%. MPS is 73.7. Eighth grade mathematics, statewide average, 69.3%. Eighth grade mathematics for the Milwaukee Public School System, 33.9. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes will be back for hour 3.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 1017 The Truth's Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Dr. Tiffany Tardy from Pearls for Teen Girls, an organization empowering girls in 5th through 12th grade across the Milwaukee area to lead the lives they deserve. Again, that is the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday with Pearls for Teen Girls at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
It's a big week for Educators Credit Union during College Scholarship Month on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. They will highlight the $70,000 in scholarships Educators Credit Union gives to 35 outstanding high school seniors in southeastern Wisconsin. We will also discuss their useful college planning resource tool, which can be found on the Educators Credit Union website. Educators Credit Union, achieving more together. For more information, visit ECU.com.
There's nothing like Milwaukee Bucks basketball at Fiserv Forum. The dunks, the defense, the roar of 17,000 fans. It's even better when you're with friends or family. From jaw-dropping plays to buzzer-beating threes, every game is packed with unforgettable moments that you'll get to share together. So gather your crew and get your single game tickets today at bucks.com/single. That's bucks.com/single.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Breaking down the issues that shape our city and our future.
There was a straw that broke the camel's back. Now, here's the other thing. A Zorhan Mamdani couldn't win in Wisconsin. He could not have won any race in New Jersey. He could not have won even in places that are as liberal as California.
It's The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, weekdays from 9 to noon.
Here's where the Democratic Party needs to rebrand itself, and I think it's going to learn a lesson very, very quickly, because in projecting to the future, I think they're already planning for a Hakeem Jeffries political agenda as Speaker of the House, which will, and Gavin Newsom was right when he gave his speech last night, it will effectively end Donald Trump's presidency. Once Hakeem Jeffries becomes Speaker of the House, Donald Trump will be the lamest of all lame ducks, and the impeachments will start, and I'm going to relish and bask in it because it's exactly what Donald Trump deserves. He did this to himself by trying to do terrible stuff to us.
Catch it live on YouTube or tune in to 1017 The Truth. You're listening to the new 1017 The Truth, founded in partnership with Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all. 1017 FM, 1510 AM, WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee. A locally owned Good Karma brand station. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Welcome to Hour 3 of The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Our phone number, if you're so inclined, is 833-212-1017, 833-212-1017. You're going to need that phone number in case you want to call us to potentially win $5,000, or if you want to share a thought, you have a question, you have a comment, or if you want to send a text message. You also can join us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com or open up your YouTube app from your smartphone or other mobile device. Search 1017 The Truth, or you can search The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. Get you to the same destination either way. Hit subscribe and you'll be able to chat in real time amongst the other viewers of this program on YouTube. And if you ever miss a program, don't worry. You can go to YouTube and go to 1017 The Truth and view and replay. Show your mama and them. Mama, you miss Sherwin. You missed the show today. Don't even worry about it, mama. I'll pull it up on the YouTube for you. And here I'll play it for you. And then mama, you know, she looked down at you through the top of her glass. Boy, that Sherwin show is crazy, but he's show is smart. Significantly exceeds expectations. There are 2 MPS schools that meet the benchmark of significantly exceeding expectations, or 1.3%. There are 26 schools that exceed expectations. That is 17.3%. There are 38 schools that just meet expectations. That's 25.3%. But 50.7% of the schools either meet few expectations or fail to meet expectations. And I would argue that even the benchmark of, quote, meets expectations, we can't have average kids. Where can somebody be black, average, and successful? I'll wait. No, I'm curious. Is there a career path? Because maybe I'll take that one. It might be easier than what I'm doing now. Where can you be average and black and live a decent life? the 38 schools or the 25% of the schools that meet expectations, I have a feeling that those schools and whatever those young people are learning in those schools, if you put that same child in a suburban school where the curriculum is more rigorous, that child will flunk out. So now I'm going to say 75% of our schools between meets expectations, meets few, or fails to meet them. That's the majority. So 25% of the schools either exceed or significantly exceed expectation. All of our kids that need the best instruction are not going to fit in a 25% of the schools. And those schools will have waiting lists. And if a teacher or a principal, I'll tell you this, if a principal who's been in the MPS system, let's say for 30 years, and she has grandkids, her grandkids ain't going to be on no waiting list to get into Golda. Her grandkids ain't going to be on no waiting list to get into King. You know that. Let's see what this is here. English and language arts. 67.9 out of 100. Mathematics out of 100. MPS scores 62.2. On track to graduation. So this chronic absenteeism, the numbers are almost in reverse. So the higher the number, the less absenteeism there is. Right? So higher number, less absentee, lower number, more absenteeism. So even the statewide absenteeism is bad. It's 80.2%. Do parents keep their kids out of school more? I became a political lobbyist when I was I think I started my lobbying career when I was about 7. Okay? Because I would have to present a policy argument to my parents if I wanted to stay home from school. I could wake up with one of my eyeballs hanging out of my head. Okay? And I wake up like, uh-oh. Mama, here go my eyeball. Can I stay home from school? Boy, you got another good eyeball. You better squint. Mama, my arm fell off. Boy, you still got 2 good legs. You better kick your way to school. I mean, your arm fell off. Didn't stop Bob. Well, mother didn't know Bob then, but you know what I mean? I had to make up. It had to be something extraordinary. It had to be very compelling and convincing. I think now, these kids will be like, yeah, Mom, I don't want to go to school today. Okay, baby, what you want to do today? I couldn't stay home from school for nothing. Because it was just days I just didn't want to go. No.
The days I didn't want to go to school and I said I was sick, my grandma and my mom had okay, you sick? All right. That means no TV, no fun, no video games, no going outside till school hours are done.
Yep. Better off going to school.
Basically.
Oh. Tell me I wasn't the only one. How did your black mother wake you up for school? I'm just curious. I'm not going to tell y'all how my black mother woke me up from school. I just want to know, do black mamas wake the kids up? It's not, oh my God, beautiful. Good morning. I love you. Oh my God, baby, you're going to have some. Hell no.
Not how my mama wake me up. Hell no.
Look, light, come on. Shake, get your ass up.
Yep.
Get it up now.
And if she got to come back in the room the second time, it's a belt to the ass.
If she come back in the room a second time, my mama had a flamethrower. I'll burn it down. Get your ass up.
It did the third time. It was going to be a slap to the face.
Oh, there's a third time.
She whooping my ass.
What kind of soft home did you a third time?
No, that was just my mama. See, me and my mom live with my grandparents, so anytime I get in trouble, I get 2 ass whoopings. One for my granddad and one for my mama. If I do something wrong around the house, that's 3 punishments. My grandma, my granddad, and my mama.
I was never woken up in a gentle fashion until I think I moved out of that damn house. Like, it was screams. Because, I used to like to sleep. You know what I mean? She didn't have to go that hard.
But my mom also didn't play about bedtime. My bedtime was 8 p.m.
Oh, that's
not a minute less.
I had to watch. I wasn't going to bed before Three's Company went off. So Three's Company came on at 10 o'clock because I'm going to watch Christy's. One of the characters on Three's Company used to wear real tight shirts. I was like, I'm going to see that before I go to bed. And I also had a phone in my room. And, man, I had to be off the phone by a certain hour. But I'm going to tell you something. If I wanted to talk to that gal, well, here's what I do. I had a phone in my room, you see. So I just go real deep under the covers. And I call that gal. Because, you know, the gal, she could get phone calls at all hours of the night. So I call that gal, baby girl, yeah. And don't let my mama come in the room and see that I'm under the covers on that phone. World War III. Covers. I know you're not on the phone!
But this is, so we probably talking about different ages. So my bedtime was at 8 p.m. as a kid. And the only time I could stay was the latest was 8:30 was on a Monday to someone watch Monday Night Raw for the important matches. But high school, you on your own. You on your own. I'm finna go to work. You go to school, that's your ass.
She wanted me in bed. This is up until probably like 8th grade. Because then my brother was born, and then they weren't worried about me no more. Then I actually had freedom when my brother was born. But it was because it was so hard to wake me up in the morning. That's why she wanted me to go to bed so early. That was the logic that she used, but it didn't work on me because I didn't put two and two together. I didn't think for a moment that, if I go to bed at 9:30, then getting up won't be such a chore. But I'm up till, and then sometimes I watch a Johnny Carson show. So now it's 11 o'clock. And then I want to call that.
Carson? You stayed up for that?
Oh, yeah. Oh, totally. I used to love watching Johnny Carson, even as a kid. A TV was different. We had fewer options back then. You were entertained by much less. And then so now it's 11 o'clock, and I'm like, let me call that gal. So now I'm on the phone till 11:30. Mom might come in the room because my mother would reserve the right to come in my room no matter what, any time of the day, do whatever she wanted. I could be in there sleeping even on the weekend. I need to get wear your dirty clothes and I'm doing laundry. Get up right now. Eugene, flip the mattress over and set it on fire. I can't imagine how many mattresses they must have bought me because they just set them on fire when I wouldn't wake up. Let's talk to Linda. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
That's so funny. Was that a traumatic childhood or what?
Hold on. Ain't nothing funny about it. Yeah, it was traumatic. It was terrible. Look at me now. I'm a mess.
I know. And why with the mother? Y'all all referring to the mother. What happened to the daddy waking y'all up? Man. But no, my mom always just turned on the light. And then when I had my sons, I would just turn on the light. Time to rise and shine. Time for school. It wasn't all of that.
Turn the light on for me did nothing because even to this day, Linda, I can fall asleep at a rock concert. I can fall asleep with the light. I can fall asleep standing up. I've fallen asleep in a shower before. I can sleep anywhere. So light and noise mean if I'm sleepy enough, I'll fall asleep anywhere.
Oh my God! But yeah, I called because of the education thing. But yeah, I agree with you, Sherwin, because as I look at the system and as it is, they're pimping the poor for their lifestyle and livelihood. And I think that we need to, think out the box and, not go to MPS. Really, 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 because I love and appreciate the previous caller because, yes, it's a corporation. We have to all work together, the parent, the school board, and the parent coordinators. But and all parts of MPS has to work together. And if their intentions are not for the progress and success of all children, then that's where it fails.
Linda, you were at some of those school board meetings where they were cutting parents off. You can't say that. No, they would turn their microphones off. So it's only us that thinks, if we just work together with them, they won't even let members of our community speak. They'll take our referendum money. But if you want to go to a school board meeting and say, hey, I think that we can do better. Hey, I'm a parent who's interested. I'm engaged. I'm involved. I'd like to give my opinion. But, sir, your 2 minutes is up. They don't care what we say.
Right. I think that we need to protest in the form of not sending our kids to MPS. F this crap. You know, they think that we are so dumb and so docile that we're going to conform out of just what you said. Let's try to work with them and not seeing the bigger picture, the bigger conspiracy in the picture. Man, I'm sick of these people. For real, for real. I can't say what I want to say over this air. For real, for real.
What do you want to say?
Ooh. You know what I want to say? I want to use some creative adjectives right now.
Like what?
For real.
Like what? What you want to say?
I'm just sick of this racism and the power of racism and how it is taking over and robbing us of our life and our potential for a happy life. We have a right to the God-given pursuit of happiness and success without being used to finance someone else's racism and division and hate. Man, fuck them.
Oh, there it was. Well, that's my fault. I got it out of her. Oh, wow. Was that me? Was that my fault?
Nah, she said it. Yeah, Linda, you can't call back for a few days. You on timeout. We can't have that. You tripping.
She's passionate today, you know? She just...
Yeah, but nah, she know better than that.
She got a little angry. Pushed her a little too far. You know, it's a sensitive subject. Black folks are very frustrated.
Oh, okay, but don't risk us getting a fine for it.
No, we're fine. I've been doing this a long time. I have heard things. Hell, the first time Tory was on the radio with me, he kept saying a word. I said, Tory, you can't say that. He said, what you mean I can't say it? Said it again. Tory, you can't say that word. What you mean I can't say it? I say it all the time. What you mean on the radio I can't say it? When did it become a banned word? I was like, Tory, you got to stop saying it. Oh, that's the frustration.
So vulgar, though.
Yeah. No, it's an emotional topic. There's no morality, you know. And she's right. We do have all these rights to whatever, life and liberty, and not to them. And listen, y'all. They're not going to sacrifice a moment of their comfort. Why should they? Because what consequences are there for them? There aren't any. Now, I could argue there's consequences for all of society. And so Nikki called earlier and she said, you know, these people are not affected by it. Like if you don't have your kids, you know, in MPS, or if you don't live in Milwaukee, you're not affected by it. Yes, you do, because it makes the city unsafe. Whenever anybody is denied any kind of opportunity, your safety is in jeopardy. It is. Or it's going to cost you more money. You're going to pay more money in taxes. Like there's going to be a consequence. Just because it's not like immediate and directly in your face, there's going to be one. You cannot have, these things do not coexist. And we've known this since the beginning of time. You cannot have multiple tiered societies. They always end in war, in revolution, in these societies being dissolved. It doesn't work. It's literally impossible to have freedom and slavery, to have this kind of wealth and have this kind of poverty, to have people that get everything and then people that get nothing in the same society. It does not work. It is not a long-term strategy or solution, and we know that. Problem is the wealthy people want to get all they possibly can while they can, and then I guess whatever consequences come, they'll deal with them in those moments. That's why they're trying to colonize Mars. We ain't heard much about it, but no. They probably got a space station up there anyway. They're going to leave Earth for us. No, Earth is going to be for you all, you poor people. We're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to have a whole nother planet. And you're not going to be able to get there to our planet. That might have a whole apartment building on the moon. Elon Musk might have like a whole development on Uranus. He might. I don't know. I've never been to Uranus before.
Man, you just told me the other day you was from Uranus.
I was kidding. I don't like Uranus.
I hope you don't.
Too dark.
The dark humor that we have, people will not get it.
No, I can't. I ain't trying to go to Uranus. When it comes to Uranus, I get close to it. I'll orbit it, but I ain't landing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be in the neighborhood, but I'm not.
You just might.
I ain't taking no direct flight.
On a drunk night, you just might.
Hold on,
you might accidentally land.
I need a connected flight. Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, we're over Uranus. It looks like we're going to have to make an emergency landing. No! And then once I get there, I'll be like, hey, it's not so bad.
It's the gentle hey.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
This is 101.7 The Truth's Kyle Wallace, and I am Milwaukee. I take great pride in being a 414 boy and representing the city that I love. The great memories I have of going to Northtown Cinema to see movies with family and friends, to going to Capitol Court to see the Black Santa Claus, this city has helped shape me into the man that I am today, and I pledge to utilize my voice as a way to advocate for you in our community. Join the home of Milwaukee's realest conversations where you can speak your truth. We are the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. Milwaukee Black Talk.
It's 101.7 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 6 years. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 11/30 of 2025.
Adrian was seriously injured when a careless driver merged into her lane.
Gruber was there for everything that I needed. Any questions that I had, Gruber was there. They made me feel like everything about my situation and my accident was very important to them, and that made me feel good. And I would definitely call Gruber again for that.
Serving Wisconsin for over 35 years, Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
They go above and beyond for their clients.
Are you ready for open enrollment? Now through January 15th, you can explore affordable health insurance options if you don't already have coverage through your job, Medicare, or Medicaid. The Community Health Access Program, CHAP, helps residents find affordable plans and guides you through the enrollment process, connecting you with resources to support your family. CHAP is a program of the City of Milwaukee Health Department. Learn more at milwaukee.gov/CHAP. That is milwaukee.gov/CHAP, or calling 414-286-8620.
Ready to hit the road in your new car? At Brewery Credit Union, we make it easy with affordable payment options on auto loans designed to fit your budget. Whether it's a brand new ride or the perfect used vehicle, we'll help you get behind the wheel faster. With flexible terms, quick approvals, and personalized service you can trust. Don't wait. Start your journey today. Apply online at brewerycu.com or visit us at Brewery Credit Union. Federally insured by NCUA.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
I'm not going to Uranus. I wasn't talking about a specific person. I'm just saying I don't want to go to the planet. What are they talking about in the chat? Like, I'm not. It's a planet. That person probably went to NPS and don't know that Uranus is a planet. I sometimes forget the people that listen to me don't know stuff. You know what I mean? And I try to have a show that everybody can listen to, but you have to know like some real basic stuff. I'm just saying I don't want to have to make an emergency landing on Uranus. That's the name of the planet, is Uranus.
And all in all, ladies and gentlemen, it's all content. We make great radio for you guys. You guys love us.
Hold on, man. As you say that, the YouTube number's going down. Be careful now.
Man, they ain't going nowhere. Welcome to Death Row. Y'all locked in. Lock in, twin.
Thanks, Ricky. Achievement. This priority area summarizes how MPS's district students perform on state assessments using points-based proficiency systems that gives partial credit for approaching performance and extra credit for advanced performance. The score is a multi-year average of English, language, arts, and mathematics component scores. Out of 100, in this multi-year score, MPS children scored 37.8 in English, language, arts, and 32.2 in mathematics, with an overall average score out of 100 of 35.0. In English, language, arts, American Indian or Alaskan Native students out of 100 scored 44.3. Asian students, 48.6. Oh, good God! Black students, 27.3. Oh, not the Hispanic students scoring 38. How would... I feel like Linda almost said it. How would the Hispanic students, some of them where English isn't their first language, have a composite score of 38 in language arts, and the black kids who speak nothing but English have an English language arts score of 27?
Is it a difference between English and Ebonics?
Ebonics is actually a code switch. The black children are actually bilingual. And if you are bilingual, it actually can make you more proficient in your native language, but they don't treat Ebonics. It's African American vernacular English, but they don't treat it like it's an actual language, which it is. It has its own nouns, verbs, sentence structures. And if they met children where they were, and if you can develop their English proficiency through the language they already speak, our children would perform better in actual English. But they try to extinguish our cultural language that belongs to us as being second tier. If that's how those children speak, then you have to begin where the kids are. And then you teach them the king's English, because they're going to need that out in the real world and the job market, etc. White children, out of 100, English and language arts, 73.2. Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander, English language arts, out of a score of 100, 32.5. Two or more races, 47.6%. So if you have two or more races, you're going to score better than the blacks and the Hispanics. I bet one of the two or more races, that's the white that's in them. Damn! Like, oh, you're a biracial student. Let's just teach the white part of you. What? Don't look at me like that. Look at me like I said something.
Nothing. You said it.
I also probably should clear something up, because the way you and Zach looked to me the other day when I talked about this really horrible homophobic game that we used to play when we were kids.
Smear the queer.
Yeah, smear the queer. I got to just say this to clear this up. So we were kids. We were stupid. It was a long time ago. And let me also be clear. No queers were smeared in the game playing. There was no smearing took place. It's just a stupid name. I just don't want anyone to think like, oh, Sherwin used to.
It's still a horrible name or game to play.
Bullying was a rite of passage. Teachers would watch kids get bullied and laugh.
I got bullied. That's why I grew up fighting a lot.
Oh, here's the worst one. So, as a freshman, if you were a freshman at Brown Deer, you got it. It was relentless. Being on a football team helped you a little bit, but not much. The worst was because the hallways were crowded. So between classes, it's like body to body. It's real crowded. And what'll happen is somebody will come and knock your books out of your hand. And once your books hit the floor, it was like a routine that everybody kicked your books even further. So now you have to wait until everybody is in class and the hallways are clear to collect your books. And your books are 100 yards away from each other, because as they were kicked, another student would kick them further and further and further. So you gather your books, and next thing you know, you go to class, You're late to class, you're getting a detention. Or some teachers would lock the door. If you weren't in class by the time the bell rang, the door would be locked. So now you got to go sit in the principal's office.
That's wild.
Okay? And the principal's like, how come you couldn't make it to class? Well, they kicked me. Shut up, freshman!
See, I ain't played that freshman game in high school. I rode with a crew. My anger was too out of this world, so you come over here and try that if you want to. We beating you.
Now, Brown Deer was a rite of passage. There was just... Now, once I became like a sophomore, junior, and a senior, well, then you become invincible. But the bullying was kind of... We didn't bully as much. When we were seniors, my class was different. We were just cool with everybody. But when I started high school, them kids, those were 80s kids, because I started high school in 1989. So those seniors, when I was a freshman, so the class of 90... Them kids was...
Oh, them as well. Like,
they were forged in
steel. They on their way to being 60 years old then, right? Like 55, 56?
Yeah, their retirement age. They're 55. Yeah.
Look at them now getting treated by some YNs and YGs and YCs.
No, they're like lawyers and doctors now. They're all like college professors. You'd be surprised at the things that people become 30 plus years out of high school. That's why I say, like, what happens in high school is not necessarily indicative of who you're going to be, because I barely graduated from high school, and now me and Melanie Ricks. Oh, I had a I graduated with a 1.4 grade point average. My teacher screwed me over though, and I was bored, dumb. But now my picture hangs on the Hall of Fame.
Now look at you. You're somebody. Won't he do it? Smart, intelligent, got all the women, got her own radio show.
Keep going. Come on.
Financial advisor.
Oh, man, you just scratching the server. Come on.
What
you
else?
just scratching the server.
You a college alumni. You know what I'm saying? You got money. You got stocks and bonds. What else? You got a Tesla.
Come
you got
on.
a car.
Keep it going. Don't stop ever.
Damn it, you are
enough,
rich.
Ricky. That's
You're
enough.
rich and black.
Now they going.
You've been on CNN.
Now they're going to assassinate me when I walk out here. You said too much. Now they going to get killed.
BBC. And the BBC
when you,
and
hold on,
the network.
When you say BBC,
the
you
network,
have to say, thank you, British Broadcasting Corporation, because you know you
some of y'all don't get our jokes.
Can't say BBC around here to these folks.
Explain everything.
They hear BBC, they think, uh-oh.
What they talking about? They're going to gay joke. No, we're talking about the network. And you've been on CNN multiple times. That boy intelligent, magnificent.
That's enough, Ricky. That's
magnificent.
Enough now. All right.
That boy on fire.
Go back to doing what you do. Go get you a nap.
Go give me what?
Go take a nap. Just get a little rest.
I will.
Show's almost over. Economically disadvantaged. So children that are considered economically disadvantaged, this is a poverty score apparently, in English and language arts, economically disadvantaged MPS students score 32.9 out of 100 in English and language arts. So, oh, man, students with disabilities, eesh. Oh, boy, we got to help them children. And it's 7,290 of them. 7,290 students that attend MPS that are classified as having a disability. Out of a score of 100, their English and language arts score is 15.2. Probably safe to say that those children are functionally illiterate. I'm going to take a break, come back. I'll give you the mathematics scores of different racial and ethnic groups at MPS, and all the scores are out of 100. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
The Humane Animal Welfare Society, HAWS, believes in keeping pets healthy and families together. No one should have to choose between rent and veterinary care. The Wellness Clinic at HAWS Animal Shelter in Waukesha offers important basics of dog and cat care to our community. Pet owners can schedule general exams, sick visits, receive vaccinations, even get preventatives and nail trims. Appointments are available weekdays and can be scheduled by calling 262-542-8852. Contact HAWS of Waukesha today for your pet's care.
At Educators Credit Union, They believe that every person should have the tools they need to achieve their dreams. Educators Credit Union is dedicated to helping our future leaders eliminate financial hurdles by providing 35 high school seniors a $2,000 scholarship every year. Applications open in January. Visit Educators Credit Union at ECU.com to learn more about how to apply. Educators Credit Union, insured by NCUA. Membership eligibility required.
It's time for Truth Takes, a thought-provoking commentary on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Here is Sherwin Hughes with his truth.
You ever notice how the phrase 9 to 5 sounds just so old school? That's because in 2025, the 9 to 5 is as outdated as a rotary phone. Let's be real. The world has changed, and the way we work has changed with it. The gig economy is booming. Folks are making money on their own terms, driving Ubers, delivering DoorDash, freelancing, and side hustling their way to the bag. And then there's the work-from-home revolution. People are clocking in from their kitchen tables, their favorite coffee shops, or even the beach. Laptops open, pajamas on, productivity up. The virtual office is now the new corner office, and the only commute is from the bed to the desk. Let's not forget about the digital nomads, those bold souls who turn the world into their workplace. They're sending emails from Bali, closing deals in Barcelona, and living life on their own schedule. No time clock, no cubicle, just Wi-Fi and a dream. And 21st century entrepreneurship, well, it's a whole new game. You can launch a business from your phone, build a brand on Instagram, and make more in a week than some folks do in a month without even punching a clock. So who's still working that old 9 to 5 job? People who are resistant to change or maybe just can't adapt. The future belongs to the flexible, the creative, the hustlers who know how to make technology work for them. The 9 to 5, well, that's a museum piece. The real action is happening outside the box, where freedom and opportunity are just a click away.
This has been Truth Takes on the award-winning 1017 The Truth. Listen to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes weekdays from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Listening to this show and trying to keep your focus. Can't listen to this show and actually do work. No focus. No fo. That's the nickname for this show. No focus.
I actually kind of like that.
No fo for you mofos. Actually, no, I shouldn't say mofo because then people might actually use profanity on this show. I like that we're able to, get people passionate about the issues. Get passionate about the lack of education our children are receiving. And this is not, listen to me, y'all. Let's just say, I'm going to pick a number, that since the MPS school system has become majority minority student body, let's say in the last 30 years, okay? And let's say also, coincidentally, the district becoming majority minority 30 years ago, then all of a sudden the children are not getting the same quality, caliber, and level of education. Let's just say that there has been total coincidence. There's no coincidence that MPS has become majority black and brown, and then also student achievement and student performance has been going down. It's just a total coincidence. If somebody tells you that it's because of racism, they're gaslighting you. Systems do not stay broken for 30 years. After year 2, it's intentional. Does that make sense? I have to make sure that is, we have to fix our broken education pipe. It's not broken. This is how it's supposed to work. If you have a motivation, and there are motivations at the highest level of the United States, to diminish African-American progress, then you have to diminish African-American progress wherever you can, and you start with the children. If you believe that there are forces at play that don't want black people to achieve because either they're afraid of us, they think that we don't know how to handle power, or they think if we get the same kind of power they have, we will use our power the way they use it against us. You do everything you possibly can to not only make sure that black people aren't successful, you blame black people for their lack of success. You know what I want to do? Because we have new truth takes coming out. I want to give y'all my new truth take goes so hard, Ricky. Because I just got frustrated, you know what I mean, with all the stuff going on. So I sat down in the studio. And
Couldn't wait, huh?
I had to get it out.
You can't wait till it airs? You gotta give a
hold on now.
Early release?
Let me see. I got frustrated with everything going on because, we haven't recorded Truth Takes in about 4 months now. And I like the last one that I did, digital nomads. That's stupid now. I heard it too many times. Now I'm sick of that Truth Take. What is that music? Is that you?
No,
am I doing
that is not me. That's you, sir.
Why is it birds chirping?
This is why you shouldn't. This is why I be telling upper management to not give you this much access.
Like I was like, am I just hearing that in my head? So, I might have made a mistake. Yeah, wait a second now. Everybody relax. Here we go. Give them a little taste. You want a little sample? You ever notice how some folks say they're saving America, but every time they get power, they aim their politics straight at us? The Republican Party, in its current form, doesn't just ignore black progress, it targets it. See, every generation of black advancement has been met with new barriers, new names, but the same old poison. Voting rights, gutted. Civil rights protections, eroded. Diversity, equity, and inclusion, dismissed as woke nonsense. Affirmative action, erased like our hard work in history never happened. They're not fighting for freedom. They're fighting for the freedom to exclude, the freedom to hoard opportunity while preaching personal responsibility. Ooh, I'm going to go in when it gets released. I had to give them a sneak preview.
You know what just happened, right?
Zach just got hot.
They didn't hear the last of that.
What happened?
They didn't hear the last of the last 10 seconds.
What'd I say?
Zach dumped it.
Oh, Zachariah, you hater. See how I get hated on? See, this is what happened, you know what I mean, when you're at the top. They're always trying to shoot for the king. I believe that what I have to say in my next truth take that's going to run for the next couple of months, not only is it evergreen, meaning it's going to still be valuable even after months of airplay, I think it perfectly encapsulates where we are as a nation. It sums up all of the different pieces and fragments of what's going on and all of the systems that we think are broken. And it's only us that thinks these systems are broken. If black people have been complaining about, let's just say, I don't know, unfair wages or something, or unequal access to opportunity. Let's say we've been complaining about that for 30 or 40 or 50 years. That's not a system that's broken. That's a system that is working to harm us. So, when Gil Scott-Heron said the revolution won't be televised, remember he said that? And we still say it too. That means that the revolution starts in our minds by us changing how we think. And us thinking that, these systems are all broken and we have to fix them. There is no fixing the systems. This is how they are designed. We believe that, if we just work really hard, we can fix the system. No, the system is working flawlessly. It is a well-oiled machine. And you can measure the system in black maternal mortality. Listen to me now. Black infant mortality. You can measure it in black incarceration rates. You can measure it in poverty. You can measure it in overall diminished African-American life expectancy. And some of you will think, wow, we have to fix all those things because the system is broken. No, the system is not broken. Our negative social indicators means this: the system is working for them. Why would they want to change it? What motivation do they have to even feel bad? They're like, hey, it's just how it is. Sorry, it's not our fault. Sorry, black people. And they gaslight us into thinking that we have to do all the work. The oppressed cannot change the mind of the oppressor. With 100 being the top score, American Indian or Alaskan Native MPS students scored 36.0. Asian students in mathematics, out of a total score of 100, scored 48.7. Black or African American students, you'd think that we'd be doing good at math. We like money. We scored 22.0 out of 100. Hispanic or Latino students scored 33.5. Native Hawaiian or Pacific Islander students in mathematic composite scores scored 35.8. White students, 64.8. White students scored 3 times higher in mathematics composites than black children. 2 or more races, 39.8% out of 100. So these are the multi-year standardized test scores averaged by race. Children that are economically disadvantaged, in which there are 29,680 in MPS. On mathematics composites, they scored 28.6. English learners. Oh, my God. English learners scored better in mathematics than black children who speak English natively. English learners, 30.2%. Students with disabilities, in which there are 7,322 that took these standardized tests, their math composite score out of 100 now is 14.7. So if you think that all of those numbers represent failure, I suppose you could be right if you are connected to, related to, or have a child that is in one of those groups that I named that have those really low scores. But to some people, those low scores of those children is their success. We are competing against the people that have created and curated our systems in which we fail. That's why I think it's difficult a lot of times for white people to even conceptualize black success. Unless we have like a ball in our hand. If we're dribbling, shooting, running, and catching, then they can look at black success 6 ways from Sunday. But black academic success, black intellectual success is foreign to them. They're just not equipped to understand it. Because in their world, they need us to fail. They need us to be the scapegoats for society. They need us to be the food stamp cheats. They need us to be the criminals. They need us to be every bad, negative part of society. They have to place that on us. And you can't do that if we're successful. So why would they aid in our success? For what reason? It's kind of a rhetorical question. I just want people to begin the revolution in our minds, because some people are thinking like, oh, Sherwin, we got to fix MPS. You can't fix something you ain't break. The people that created it and curated it, it's on them to fix it. But for them, it's working perfectly. Systems are broken for only a short period of time. After that, it's intentional. So if our scores were sliding and our graduation rates were going down, if we've been complaining about that for the last 30 years, that's not a broken system. That is a system that is working, and it's very consistent, is it not? So let's not think like, oh, we got a new superintendent, they're going to fix it. No, the superintendent is just the next staff person in a system that's working for them and designed to fail for us. That is the story of America. The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 101.7 FM. We'll be right back.
The Truth with Sherwin Hughes returns after this on 101.7 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Tune into the award-winning 101.7 The Truth's Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday at 3:57 p.m. between the Tori Lowe Show and Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris. We will be speaking with Dr. Tiffany Tardy from Pearls for Teen Girls, an organization empowering girls in 5th through 12th grade across the Milwaukee area to lead the lives they deserve. Again, that is the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Heart of Canal Street Spotlight this Wednesday with Pearls for Teen Girls at 3:57 p.m. on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth.
It's 1017 The Truth's Dr. Ken Harris for Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Sometimes teams take a timeout to regroup and call the right play. When it comes to your home, Gina Della and her team at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin always have the winning game plan. Check out the championship caliber play call this month. A whole house of beautiful, new, energy-efficient Pella windows for as low as $297 a month, and get this, 0% interest for up to 6 years. That's like running a drive that keeps moving the chains with no penalties and no interest. And I can tell you from my experience, Pella windows actually stop the drafts. You'll stay comfortable no matter how cold it gets outside. Think about it. Energy savings, comfort, and a great monthly payment you can actually manage. That's why I trust Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, and why this is the right time to make your move. Call today and schedule your free consultation at PellaWI.com. Certain restrictions apply. Ends 11/30 of 2025.
Are you ready to do some baking? Because it's We Energy's Cookie Book time. This year's book is packed with dozens of cookie recipes to bake and share. We're sure you'll find a few new favorites. Pick up your copy of this holiday tradition from We Energies at one of our drive-through distribution events. Go to WeEnergies.com to find an event near you. From all of us at We Energies, we offer you warm wishes for a bright holiday season. We Energies. Energy you can depend on.
Ready to buy your first house, move into your forever home, or simply refinance? At Associated Bank, they've got you. With the right lending plan and guidance, you can achieve your dreams. Your financial goals are much closer than you think, and Associated Bank is excited to help you reach them. Learn more at associatedbank.com/lending or ask a banker for details. Subject to credit approval. Member FDIC. Equal housing lender.
Students learn best when they can put their knowledge into action. JA's Stock Market Challenge teaches high school students how to analyze stocks and how current events impact value. Thanks to RSM, our partner that makes this program possible. It's just one of many ways JA brings learning to life. To learn more, visit wisconsin.ja.org.
Join Marketplace Wisconsin on December 10th and 11th, where contract-ready small businesses meet buyers, partners, and mentors. Register now at marketplacewisconsin.com. That is marketplacewisconsin.com.
Seriously injured? Call Gruber Law Offices today.
You are listening to The Truth with Sherwin Hughes on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Earlier, I was asking, where is somebody that's black and average? Monica said Stephen A. Smith. He's not average, is he? He's popular amongst the people that like him. I don't need him to turn political, though. He's going to try and better capitalize off of his celebrity by running for office. Hasn't he floated, or somebody floated him running for president? I mean, I wouldn't vote for him. He can do whatever he wants, obviously. Stacy said via our text line at 833-212-1017, I would love to hear you and T-Lo have a discussion. He would probably say, don't leave your community, boots on the ground, be about that action, turn in the gang/dope dealers. So funny you should mention that, Stacy. On Tuesday, Tori and I did a segment together, and it was very pleasant. He and I just have different opinions on matters of politics. But on other stuff, we are perfectly fine. Tori and I actually worked together on a major project in 2016. He mentioned it when we did our segment on Tuesday. We were trying to get kind of embarrassed. So John Chisholm was our district attorney here in the city of Milwaukee for like 20 years. And we had an issue with him because John Chisholm, when a police officer would engage in egregious conduct, John Chisholm would find a way not to charge that police officer. And so we come to find out, Tori and I did, and we had some help, that there's a process in which you can make a request of the governor to remove a district attorney. And so we got all the paperwork together and we got all the petitions together. And then I did a press conference. And then while I was giving the press conference, Tory was on his way to then Governor Scott Walker's office to deliver all of the petitions and the paperwork and the legal filings to try and get rid of John Chisholm. Now, the reason why we wanted to get rid of John Chisholm is because we didn't like how he was exercising his abilities, duties, and authorities as prosecutor in Milwaukee County. Because basically think of a precursor to George Floyd. We knew about people in our community getting harmed, and the cops would get caught, and they would get like a 2-day suspension or whatever. Or the information would be presented to John Chisholm, and he would never charge these cops. And here's what his logic was. It's like he knew the cops were guilty. Like, he knew the conduct was egregious, but he was like, Sherwin, we can't get a jury in Milwaukee County that would ever convict these cops. And since we can't get a jury to convict these cops, I'm not going to bring charges against them. So Tory and I were very upset about that. I was at an event, a gala for Black Arts MKE. They had their 10th anniversary fundraiser. You know, they do the Black Nativity, and they do a whole bunch of other wonderful and creative things, and they support our children, and they allow our children to be involved in arts programs that are not in schools anymore. Our children can join Black Arts MKE. So I went to the gala, big old fundraising thing they do, and guess who was sitting at my damn table? John Chisholm and his wife. We was cool, though. When he was running for re-election in 2016, I supported his opponent, a woman by the name of Verona Swanigan. I even did a Milwaukee County District Attorney candidate debate on my show at the time. I was fair to John Chisholm, but he has known for years that I did not agree with his prosecutorial discretion. But how ironic it is that the person you're trying to remove from office will be sitting at your table at a Black fundraising gala a couple years later. Let's talk to Vincent. You're on 101.7 The Truth. How are you?
I'm doing well, Sherwin. These numbers that you talked about, these different scores, are they just for public schools or charter schools and voucher schools also included those particular numbers?
Just MPS, just Milwaukee Public Schools.
Just Milwaukee Public Schools. Is there any numbers out there that reflect charter schools and voucher schools as far as African-American students that are involved in those, their scores? Is there any information about that? Because we never hear about those.
Yes.
We always hear about just Milwaukee Public Schools, but we never hear about the scores from those other venues.
So there's two different types of charter schools. There are instrumentality and non-instrumentality. I think the non-instrumentality charter schools are technically also MPS schools because MPS can charter its own schools. Those scores are included. The other incarnation of charter schools, their scores are not included. Parental choice schools are basically private schools, and because they don't get the same level of funding as the district does, they are not required to provide that data. But sometimes those schools, individual schools, will provide that data to people that inquire and to parents that are considering sending their kids to that school. But because they are funded differently and they're under different like state law rules, they don't have to provide that data. But we all know that St. Joan and Pius and Dominic, we all know that they do well because a lot of teachers will send their kids Thomas More into those other private schools, but they are under no legal obligation to provide their information to the public.
Yeah, well, that's a shame. But the issue is the fact is when you look at those particular numbers, those particular stats, it just shows a dismal failure in Milwaukee as far as educating these kids for like you said, for the last 30 years. And then we wonder why we have children out here stealing cars, killing other individuals out here, and the mayhem that we have in the community, because you have the number of kids out here that are just plain undereducated, and so. But
we can't look at that as a failure because that's a success for them. But Vincent, I wish I could talk to you for another hour. My show was over, so I thank you for your call.
Take it easy, Sherwin.
All right, then, Vincent. And thank you all for listening. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.
It's a big week for Educators Credit Union during College Scholarship Month on the award-winning 101.7 The Truth. They will highlight the $70,000 in scholarships Educators Credit Union gives to 35 outstanding high school seniors.